The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunning linguists, good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically, good guys. Conspiracy, sex, culture, Jamaicans, it's okay to change your thinking, good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys. The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunning linguists, good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically, good guys. Conspiracy, sex, culture, Jamaicans, it's okay to change your thinking, good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys.
Up, big up. Happy Friday night, and welcome to another episode of the Secret Society of Good Guys. As always, we are your good guys. Make sure you follow everyone on stage, and if you would be so kind, and it doesn't hurt your asshole, please hit the thumbs up or like and subscribe. And if you have an iPhone, you can go over to the right side of your screen, and there's a ton of little emojis. There's like hearts and happy faces and hundreds. Even if you think about that with your like fidgety little hands while you're watching, you can hit that throughout the show, and it does help Al Gore's rhythm. So thank you for listening to that, because I always will have one hater that's like, I'm not hitting the thumbs up. I don't even know you guys. And I'm like, you wrote all that? Hi, good guys. How are you? And welcome back, alanmarcus.com, which is a real website.
It's a web page. There's just one page.
A long web page, the longest web page in history.
I'll keep adding to it. Indeed.
And
I'm just
Abbie's
happy Abbie's
back.
here.
Yeah, everybody missed Abbie last week.
Aw.
It felt like
Missed
2
you guys
weeks.
too. I know.
Anything new? You had baseball size hail today.
Well, we didn't get apparently 2 blocks over. They got bigger hail, but it was like that big. It was loud as hell, setting off car alarms, and then it got so loud that you couldn't hear the car alarms. But no, I kind of felt like I was scammed. I sort of wanted to see it.
Is it
Even though I
weather
know it would've been
mod or
destructive.
just normal Okie shit?
I don't know. I mean, what's normal, really?
Isn't it
would be
always weather mod? Isn't everything weather mod now? That's
Yeah,
even
that's
what Al
what I
Gore
think.
said.
Yeah.
It's all weather mod, baseball size hail. So at least your Tesla is bulletproof. It's probably, I don't know if you have a Tesla. I just made that up. You seem like you should drive a Tesla, though, in that outfit.
Oh, do I? I don't think it'd be fast enough.
It's a little
more like
matrixy.
Ferrari.
Mustang. Abbie loves a
Always.
Mustang, you
I
guys.
do.
She's going to pick
They're
this as
sexy.
her car every time.
I am.
I was surprised you said Ferrari that time. Anyways,
Well, go big or go home, right?
feels dark in here with these glasses on.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. Future's so bright, I gotta wear shades.
Hi, Thomas.
Okay, this is the official Fed edition of Secret Society of Good Guys.
It's not the UAP edition.
Well, same difference, no?
I know. I'm kind of wondering that.
Have you looked through all the pages?
No, I would be lying if I said I could have made it through that many yet.
I looked through most of them, and it's just a bunch of lights and dots, man. There's no aliens. There's no, like, badass crafts. There's the biblically accurate angels, but really it's just kind of like an anomaly.
Anomaly. Like that podcast host, that content creator.
All of it.
All of it. I don't know.
And,
Have you
and
seen?
it's anomalies and Jews, obviously.
Have you seen like the Merkaba shaped ones, like the weird kind of
Yeah,
lit up crafts that are like star shaped or?
the 8-sided star. I was like, oh, look, they put a compass.
Yeah, like one of
Rose
them
in
looked
there.
like the Wheel of Ezekiel. One of them looked like that. what is that? A gyroscope? Kind of look?
Gyroscopes. Is that the device at the end of that was it Jodie Foster movie? It's Contact.
Contact.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I know that they're in like all the weapon systems on a ship, but
Oh,
So the disclosure is going to be that aliens invented all of the world's religions, and that's going to be the big thing.
Well, don't you think that's a really easy
mind
way for like
control.
aliens to like if the aliens are demons and they convince you that they created the world's or religions, but also the world's humans, like they just genetically modified everything, then they're like, all that stuff is fake. They have a second go at it. You know, like, damn, they already got us out of here when they thought we were demons. We're going to have to be schlick about it this time. We're going to have to play the long game. And so, but if they come back as our overlords like aliens, we might worship them.
But you know what's the most important part is that Epstein's not in the headlines now.
I think it still is. I think it's kind of, this is what an interesting thing. I think it's always crazy that even conspiracy take this. We are capable of doing more than one thing at a time.
We are, but I don't think normies are.
I think that's a narcissistic conspiracy way to think.
Well, was his
Like, we're
suicide
more
letter
woke.
last week, or am I?
The what?
Because I said, was his suicide letter last week? I only just saw it in the past few days or so.
Oh, the
but-
Epstein suicide letter?
Yeah.
Did it even
was like-
seem like one?
No, but I'm just saying, I felt like he was still kind of in the headlines.
was
so-
he using a ballpoint pen?
BAAL?
It's a deep cut.
A deep cut, no pun intended.
An egg-shaped pen.
If we could just get access to the ink in the quill he used to write that letter, it's like where did he get that in prison?
And you know, it was found in a graphic novel. So I'm not going to
Oh.
say that it was Paranoid American History 101, but it could have been.
Wouldn't
Yeah,
it
Mom,
be
cut it off.
awesome if like it was, and then it just adds to this whole other level that people all have to go and look at Paranoid History 101? That would be part of the Great Awakening. Like everyone would
You
go
can't
to
buy
it.
that kind of marketing.
Well, that would be a fun thing to
Of
do.
course, it's a Freemason.
Yeah.
In all the comment thread just mentioned, I bet it was a Paranoid American comic book.
Yeah, we could do that.
I wish it would. Well, so there's no way it was a comic book because I know that you can't send a comic book to most jails or prisons because they've got staples in them. So they have to be either the staples pre-removed by the publisher, sent directly to the jail, or it's got to be a perfect bound graphic novel.
Yeah, it has been awful to send people things in the.
We appreciate it.
We do, and look at how we did that seamless that
I
time.
know.
That was like expensive production. Yeah, it is a pain in the ass to send somebody any kind of media in jail.
And that's if the guards there are like nice enough to actually deliver the mail. Because there's a lot of places where it makes it all the way there and then they'll just throw it out or rip it up in front of you just because they can.
That was
I had a
my
pen pal in
favorite.
jail once.
From
met him
jail
at
or
a-
to jail?
Well, it was like, he was in like boys prison or whatever, like went to a prison school. And I just happened to meet him at this football camp because I was like working a little booth selling food. And he asked for my address and started writing me letters. So I wrote him letters back. But yeah, the guards would always have to read the letters. He's like, yeah, my guard said that you're really smart. And it was funny.
Yeah, they'll be all in your business. They'll listen to your phone calls. Like they'll have whole entire notes, and because that's all they got to do all day too. You know what I mean? Like their job is just watching what you're doing.
And they know all the drama and tea that's going on with all the inmates outside that they
Well, they're
might not
causing a lot
be
of it.
sharing. Yeah, it's so curious. I had a friend who was in prison for like a decade, and we were young, so I tried to send her like reading material, and we're in college. Probably some of it was like borderline like feminist shit, because you're like, oh, I'm gonna send you YM magazine. This is a shout out. This shows my age. I'm gonna send you like YM magazine. I'm gonna send you like Cosmopolitan. You get magazine subs and you're like, let me just send them in there. So one day I came across one, and there used to be this magazine that girls all read in like the early 2000s. It was called Bust. And it was like kind of a Riot Girl magazine, which people that aren't familiar with Riot Girls, it's feminism, punk rock. It's a little bit
Roller derby.
it's a little roller derby. And so it was just fun in that kind of style. I sent it to her. They sent it back. Even though it came from the publisher, I did all the right things. They wouldn't let her have it. They felt like it would create an uprising in the woman's prison. And so then she was like right
No
across the
empowered
way from
women.
like a man's prison. And I thought it was insane that they can get like pornographic shit, and she couldn't get this Bust magazine. So in my little college day, I thought I was going to be so schlick and like kind of protest this with letters. And all I did was get the men's magazines removed. They didn't add her magazines to her. I just got the
Yep.
men's magazines
Yep.
removed.
Damn.
Bullshit. That's where I realized, I'm like, dang, I did not help anyone. did not-
Good books will get
Typical
like smuggled.
feminist. Typical feminist.
They'll smuggle good books in, and they'll be coveted sort of resources. Because I'm someone who isn't me, clearly, but they were able to find all sorts of books, like American Psycho inside of a prison, which is kind of a wild book to have inside. But then if there was a book that had a quote in French, or if it had like a Latin saying somewhere, that would get kicked out, because the guards would be like, "Oh, I can't read this language. I don't know if this is a secret recipe for you to escape or something." But here's
my
American
gosh.
Psycho.
Ciphers and skeleton keys again. What's in the text? Hidden meta text in the text. That would cause the guards to go paranoid if they don't understand what the communication
Right.
is. Like, guards are
Imagine
not the most intellectual people on the planet, I imagine.
Like a synchro mystic
I would think you're
schizo
right.
guard that's
Oh, yeah.
like, even though I see it's just a letter from your mom, I know there's a message in here. And he'd
And
be right, because there would be.
I'm just
We'd
imagining
have to all
that
putting messages in there.
that old Epstein's reading comic books, but it turns out it's just a bunch of DuckTales comics, Disney Adventure Magazine or something.
That would actually be super crazy, because the early DuckTale comic books are incredibly complex. That's where you get the Indiana Jones movie from. It was so good.
Indeed.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
In my head, I just started singing.
They're making.
I feel like I
DuckTales.
have it pieced together
Woo.
in my head. It's like,
When they got that song together, I am fully convinced, even like as irrational as it sounds, they had perfected whatever the mind control aspect of coming up with a jingle was. Like, Disney had put everything into that particular song. Disney's got some of the most of the earworms, I think, but DuckTales is probably and you know what's even more insidious is that even if it gets stuck in your head, it's not necessarily as annoying. It's almost like meth.
yeah, it doesn't. I feel like I have pieced words, but I could definitely hum the whole tune. Like I could name that tune in one tune thing or less or whatever.
Summer can sing the whole thing though. She sang
Where
it
it's
to us
like,
before.
Yeah, something airplane. It's a duckburg. But in your cartoon life, how certain cartoons kind of like got you high when you heard their jingle, and other ones where you're like, oh, I got to get through this time. Even before you knew what a half hour was, you were like, oh, I got
Do
to
you remember the Gummy Bears jingle?
Oh, yes.
That one still would get stuck. If I start singing, it'll
Do
stuck
it.
in my head for like days.
No, these earworms are dangerous. The
They
vocal
are.
stimming is going to be ridiculous.
I know.
Let me see if I can think of the Gummy Bears.
Gummy Bears.
Oh, yeah, that's a great
Bouncing here and there and everywhere.
Yeah.
The intro to that
good.
one always got me so hyped to like, this is going to be great. And then the episodes were sort of like, like
Gummy
nothing's
Bears
really
is a
going
little
on.
adrenochrome, don't you think?
The Gummy Bears?
Yeah, don't you think the entirety of that is a little adrenochrome?
Well, I remember watching that cartoon, and then I was the dumb kid that thought the Guess Who pieces talked, like the game where it's like, is your person bald? And then it would be like, not me. And I actually thought it would
Because the
say not
commercial,
me.
yes.
I think
So
there was
I
a
remember
talking
watching Gummy
version.
Bears, and I was thinking that maybe they're just so small that when we bite into them, we can't hear them scream. And that became like a real thought and then like as I got older, I realized that was silly, but I also realized that would be the coolest product ever. If someone invented a snack, like actual gummy bears that screamed when you bit into them, no one could top that.
You know, and as funny as that is, I always thought that cartoons were actual like actors, like they were just kind of like their own race or something like that. Probably along the lines of
Roger Rabbit.
yes, along the lines of Roger Rabbit. So Roger Rabbit came out, I already knew, but I mean, if I would have said that when I was little, I would have really thought that that was the thing because I already thought that was the thing.
All right. We might get DuckTales.
All right.
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
So speaking
Somebody
of mind
just came
control,
in and I'm like, is this
Who
Secret
is
Society of Summer?
interesting.
I don't know.
So you're looking at the next gifted and talented teacher. So I gotta mind control a bunch of kids now.
Oh, what's this?
It's not as exciting as you think. It's not like the 80s when they did all the weird testing and shit. They just find them on the computer, test every kid.
Oh, the gate selector, the gatekeeper.
Oh, Crypt Keeper.
You
know.
are Zool.
I am Zool.
I remember having a really early after we were talking about it last time, and I couldn't quite remember, and I actually like distinctly figured out it was either like 3rd or 4th grade, like the earliest one, and I just remember BSing some lady, just like lying to her for like 2 hours, but I guess that's what they were looking for.
Huh. Really?
Absolutely, yeah. She was. I remember some of the questions. There was like some maze stuff, but some of the questions distinctly were like, "When did Columbus first step foot on America?" or something. And then there was also like, "How do you freeze things that can't be frozen?" It was just like weird questions. But I just remember like just BSing a lot of it. But I think that was legitimately what they were looking for.
Well, they had like the questions I remember because I got tested in 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and then 5th grade.
I don't know how old that is. 4th or 5th grade, whatever age 4th
No,
or 5th graders are.
Yeah, they do it on all of
I
them.
like how Tom. I don't know how
But-
fucking old I was. What a retard question.
Before or after
They asked me like,
puberty.
"What's a bicycle?" And they asked me like 2 random numbers that like, and really how are they like? It was just that they were numbers, I guess. But I don't know. It's weird.
I think what they were looking for is people that were trying to answer things in creative ways and maybe just not like, I don't know. If you just said I don't know to every question, they'd be like, all right, go
That's
back
what
to
I did.
class, you idiot.
That's what I did when they said ask what a bicycle was. I was just like, I was kind of insulted, and I was like, I don't know. Like you don't know. You can't
You gave me some
explain a bicycle. I
attitude.
was like, nope, I can't.
What grade was this for you?
That was 5th grade. I was
Okay.
tested 3 years in a row, because I was always like high aptitude, but I never qualified. But my 5th grade year, I kind of blew it.
All it was just you got to play Carmen Sandiego and Oregon Trail while all the other kids
I wish
did
I
whatever
would've
they
done
did.
See, I'm gonna do cool shit. I'm kind of excited about this. Like, I'm gonna
Oh my
teach
gosh,
them
we should
memory
make 'em a
palaces and
cipher.
stuff. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I want to do. I want to teach them because I get to do whatever I want. There's no curriculum. For
Oh yeah,
kids
start them on a
involved.
pig pen. That's like the OG Masonic cipher, and it's the easiest one. It's for like idiots.
Okay, you're gonna have to send me this information.
Real
Yeah,
quick,
pig pen.
I want everyone to know Layla's out tonight. She's fine. She's hanging out for her birthday with a friend with her sister. Shout out to Layla. She might swing in tonight. She might be a little tipsy if she does swing in because she is, going dancing with the ladies and friends and whatnot. So Layla is fine and well to all the people out there. You can write her on any of her social medias and tell her that you miss her and, I don't know, be nasty about her. Send her a water with a peach. So she's like, what? Send her just the emoji. We miss you, water, peach. So then all the other people that see it are like, what the hell? This is just random. So you can do that to Layla. And also, Alan Marcus, if you don't know, is from the Uncle Ted Talks. You can follow them. You might know AM Wake Ups, Ted Steves. You might know Ben Balderson from Odin's Alchemy. You might know Jim from Weaving Spiders Welcome. They all do that show on Tuesday nights. You should totally go and follow it, especially if you want to talk about relevant stuff, get names, dates, and shit. They go into things that are like current topic. And it's also funny. It makes me laugh out loud. I wanted to shout that out. And for some reason, I'm remembering this. Thomas, you said something about education last week. And you said, I wish Abbie was here so I could ask her about it. And I forget what the thing was.
What I said was that, like, outside of working on comics and just random projects I do, one of the few guilty pleasures, instead of playing video games, I guess, in like my 40s, instead of my 20s or 30s, my deep like guilty pleasure is to go onto teacher forums and just read all of the grievances with like teachers are going through. I hated my teachers growing up, so I just want to like feel their pain through proxy, like vicariously have Schadenfreude or whatever it's called, like through modern teachers to get back at my previous. But one of the things, there was a thread that just kept coming up on Instagram, and I was like, I'm just gonna drop a little bomb in here, and it was like, I can't wait for AI to replace teachers, but then I actually engaged. Like, it started a whole conversation and teachers are chiming in. They're like, well, back this up with studies. And I was like, all right. And I went and found a study in like Nigeria or whatever. And I was like, you're going to criticize Nigeria, like the Nigerian kids, like you want to halt their progress because of you. And then I dig up stats on how much per capita US teachers get paid versus every other country on the planet versus what our efficacy is versus people that have like a tenth of our budget. So just like stab. And I don't know, I guess my hot take is that we could separate the learning part of teachers and give that to AI so that each kid can have an individualized way to make them interested in math or geography or whatever it is that can be taught out of the back of the book that any sub could do. AI could do that. But what you can't replace is the human connection, which just means that the like adults would be there that know how to teach kids, but don't have to be an actual expert in math or geography or whatever, and just be there to like guide them through social situations or like point out their faux pas, like, like house train them essentially.
The only issue I have with kids on a computer is that since I am an IT now and I do that end of education.
You don't, but see, you wouldn't have to have them on a computer. You could have all analog and they hit a button and the little device comes up to them and it's like, what do you need help with, sir? And it's just talking to ChatGPT. So like they don't actually get a chance to open up a tab and watch some brain rot on YouTube or whatever instead of doing the lesson plan, right?
Right, because that's like that ends up being the issue, which I mean, we have software where we can like the teacher can shut it down where they can't open any other tabs and stuff. But
so they
these
think,
kids, yeah, that's exactly it. Oh my gosh, they find the workarounds. Like
I was that kid. I got kicked out of a class and I got to just go to the library instead of going to one of my classes because I found out how to just like break in and get all the answers and just change grades like every single time they changed it. And eventually the teacher was like, how would you like to just go and have private study in the library instead of my class? You just get an A if you just don't come back to class.
That was my entire English. It haunts me that my entire high school English, I was never in class. They never taught me what any punctuation meant. They never taught me anything. I had the same teacher. This is the most CIA shit. I don't know why in my head when I think back. You know how big the school system is, y'all? You know how many teachers you have for things? I had the same teacher, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, all for my English and honors English class. Like whatever I changed, she changed, and she just was with like, oh, and now I'm 11th grade teacher, and now I'm a senior teacher. And she was the last teacher that I saw on graduation day that touched my tassel. Like, I just always think about her.
Triggered.
I would shout her out right now, but then everyone would be like, totally handle her.
See it? That's I had a
Like
math teacher like that. And I was fucking great in mathematics until I had her. She was fucking horrible.
Well, touch my tassel.
Every year in high school.
I'm ready to graduate.
But she just sent me to the
Tickle my
library.
tassel.
I just played in the library for every single year.
I wish I could do that.
I feel like that's part of the reason I'm a little bit of a weirdo is because during that but I did not know the proper formation or how to actually write. I could get all my ideas out there. I couldn't spell for shit. Like you would have thought I was borderline illiterate by reading something. It's like how long.
I wish I could have had you in 4th grade. You would have loved English and you would have been so good at it.
No, I wasn't ever bad at English. I was always in honors English.
No, I mean,
just
like,
felt like
punctuation and stuff.
somehow I look back
I
at
taught
it.
that grammar part of it so well.
Like when it
And it was
actually
fun.
clicked, I was like, how did I bullshit my way through this? Like in college, it clicked. And I was like, how did I bullshit my way through this? I had a lot of things like that where I'm like,
I had a very similar experience in senior year English specifically and math, but I like got into my head. I was like, I'm not going to do any homework this year. I'm just like, I'm not going to do a single night of homework. As soon as I'm out of school, school's over, I'll learn while I'm at school. I've got other stuff to do. And I would only show up for days where they had tests, and I wouldn't even show up for any other day during class because I wasn't going to do the homework anyways. And I've gotten an I before from a class for doing that, which is worse than an F. It just means you didn't even turn in enough stuff to get a grade, so the I was the incomplete. But for whatever reason, senior year, both of those teachers, they gave me like a D to pass, even though I literally turned nothing in the entire year except for like the final projects. And I think with the English teacher, like she realized I like to write and I like to read, and I just wasn't putting up with whatever school bullshit. And like she was legitimately like a real human being and was like technically if he had done the work, he would have passed. So like, what do I grade him on? Am I going to keep him back and like look like an asshole, or do I just like let it flow? And I feel that that's almost every teacher. Like every teacher kind of has that discretion to fudge the grade a little bit and just let you pass if you're not like an asshole to them, and they're not just an asshole in general.
And I think that's happening on a major level now at this end of the year with the Canvas software fiasco. Are you guys keeping up with that? It's not quite Moodle. The back end for education, I believe it's college levels. Abbie, do you know if high schools are using Canvas software for grades and things?
It just depends on like the district, the state.
that went
all
down
that,
today
so,
with Discord.
Yeah, because we all have different student information systems, but yeah, we don't use Canvas, but a lot do.
So with Canvas being the system that is used for students to submit documents, check their grades, communicate with teachers, it's sort of the back end. It's like Microsoft Teams. It teaches students to be like, I'm working in an office building. I'm logging into my server here, and I got my Canvas here, and my grades are here, and I interact with my teachers through this preferred channel.
How hard is it to just slip some AI in there? Bam, now humans are gone.
Well, again, that's where maybe Claude AI and some of the vibe codes were finding bugs and critical errors and things. But a group called Shiny Hunter now is held at hostage. So the frightening thing is that students' personal information, messages to administration and teachers back and forth, all of that stuff has been saved and copied and is now being held for ransom. They have until May 12th to pay a ransom. And this is just a long-winded way to say that students are freaking out, teachers are freaking out, and they can't access the system, or they're afraid that it's been compromised. So students are, a lot of them probably just getting A's, and it's like we have to get through this. I just want to start summer vacation.
And that just makes me go back to the whole Iran threat that they were gonna like fix everyone's credit scores and zero out debt. And I'm like, please, let's do this. Let's go, Iran.
GPA jubilee. Everyone gets a 4.0 now.
Absolutely.
That's usually what happens. If there's like a flood or a fire that wipes out grades, that's typically what will happen.
There was an Emilio Estevez movie in the 80s with Demi Moore, and he went around to banks back before everything was attached by computers, and he destroyed people's mortgage notes and debt notes. So he just like lit those fires. That's it. He didn't steal any money from the banks. It's pretty.
I remember that.
It was a decent little 80s movie.
I think both of those are maybe the wrong solutions, though. Like Fight Club wiping debts and the same premise of everybody gets A's, which is essentially Bush, No Child Left Behind, in that if somebody dies along the path, you have to pick them up and carry them on your back as you go, essentially. Like, I don't think either of those are the right solution, though. Those are actually making everything way worse.
It's pretty terrible, and that's kind of the theme that's explored in Mr. Robot as well, realizing now today being May 8th in the fictional world of Mr. Robot by Sam Esmail, they have the 5.9 hack, which destroys financial records.
Here's hoping.
And the Fight Club creator is also, he was in the Cacophony Society, I think, and he's also one of the creators of Burning Man. And so that idea of going somewhere, rinsing away who you were, almost being born again, and then coming back in this like Wicker Man type ritual is curious. It's curious. It's curious. Another thing, Thomas, this is hard right. Somebody said
Like Alex Jones hard right?
hard right. Thomas's interview with the lady who is married to the Oklahoma City super dude Terry was awesome too.
Tanya Yakey, yeah, I was blessed with having like an incredible interview because I had been talking to her for last couple years, and like long story short, there's another guy that is an editor for a few different OKC books, and I guess he put in a good word where she was deciding if she's going to go back to CNN or ABC or whatever, one of these outlets to give a longer interview after she's been away for a minute. And I guess they picked me. So I'm really blessed and honored that she came on and dropped some brand new information that hasn't even really been talked about since Oklahoma City happened.
It's super interesting for everybody that hasn't. You can go over to Thomas's channel and look at it. But also today, Friday, it's a little after midnight my time, but isn't it Terry's birthday or death day today?
Yeah, she was posting a whole bunch of old photos. You can go on Twitter and just search for Tanya Yakey, Tonia, and give her a follow and just, like, thumbs up and, we miss you, Terry, or whatever. Terry was a OG hero.
And everything with the Southern Poverty Law Center and its attachments to it being all around this, I think it deserves a look. And also, it could just be random coincidence, and it's a big part of the area, but it's a small part of the world. When you look at the Four Corners, like in 1993, when there was the outbreak of hantavirus last time, which was 33 years ago, it happened around like the New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, like that Four Corners area where the 4 states all attach. So 33 people on a res come down with it in these 4 states. I think like 47 come down with it total, but like 33 come down with it in this area. Yeah, I swear. I don't know.
47 and 33?
Well, I don't know if the 47, but I know 17 die.
Okay.
But in the whole line of it, when this happens, and when you look at Bundy, and when you look at Oklahoma City, and when you look at Waco, and when you look at the area, including how close it all is to Epstein Ranch, and that time, or Zorro Ranch, I think this is like a whole interesting little neck of the woods that when you're looking at Dulce Base and all the things that were said about it, it wasn't just aliens. It was like a whole bunch of genetic modification. It was a whole bunch of viral manipulation and things like that. So when these lab leaks are talked about, you're wondering from what lab? And if they, like, what are they up to over there? Like, if we're all in little test grounds, what are the reservations? And so it's just curious to me. It's like big leaps, but it's like how much government land is in this area specifically, this chunk of time where all this stuff went down under the Clintons, like in this chunk of, I don't know. When I think of the laws, I'm like, there's a high likelihood that the FBI gained like they gained prowess over state rights during that time as much as during Lindbergh baby. Like they just got such this stronghold in certain states that they never had it before. A lot of conservative states at the time. Anyways, that was a big rant.
And by the way, I just wanted to point out Lindbergh baby was an inside job.
Total inside job. I almost said Hindenburg when I said it, and that was an inside job too. Mm-hmm. So anyways, you guys can turn it to wherever you want to, but I found the interview so interesting.
For me, that's probably more relatable than 9/11 because I was kept in the dark. I didn't get to go through 9/11. I didn't know what it was until like 2 weeks after it happened, but I definitely remember Oklahoma City. So that's one that had always kind of drew me in. So shout out to the Southern Poverty Law Center for making everything relevant all over again. It had gone for like, what, 30 years, and no one was really talking about or considering Oklahoma City. And then the SPLC kind of got, I guess, made the wrong enemy on the wrong day. And they were like, all right, whatever. We don't care about the lobbyists. We're going to go ahead and drop this news. And everything old is new again now.
Because you were in boot camp on 9/11, huh?
Yeah, so I missed it for the 2 weeks.
They don't
and it
tell
was-
you anything that's happening in the
Yeah, it
outside
was the
world.
weirdest
I
thing.
remember thinking that in boot camp, like, what if something happens and like we're at war and we wouldn't even know? I remember feeling that. So it's weird that you experienced it.
I feel like I missed out because I remember my parents and TV shows and everyone would always say, like, I remember where I was when I heard JFK got shot. That was like the thing that
Yeah.
everyone could relate to. And I never got that, you know?
That's
I
not a
still- I
point on
still
the
haven't
Tesseract
had
for
that.
you.
Everyone has had their 9/11 version of that. And I was like, I don't know. I skipped school on the day of the final or something, you know, I missed out on like a huge bonding experience with the rest of the world. Me and like 40 other people, like we're the only ones that weren't in on it, I guess.
Trauma bonding over the Oklahoma City bombing.
But see, that was like 7th grade for me, and I was just like, okay, building like fell down. Like, what happened?
That's how I felt about
have
it
no
too. Yeah.
like relation to it.
I had a family friend who had moved from my hometown to Oklahoma City area, and then we were concerned, Oklahoma City, that must be where she's living right now, so she must not be okay. So we had a lot of concern over not knowing the size of the blast radius or anything. And then at that same time, we were watching X-Files on, was it Friday night or Saturday night? Looking forward to the new X-Files movie, Fight the Future. And I think a lot of the things that are happening the past few days have been focused on that movie, the X-Files movie, Fight the Future, hantavirus thing, bees, ? Facilities, the genetics of the bees and the pollination. And the movie kind of opens with an explosive device in a building in a downtown area that looked very similar to an Oklahoma City type thing. I don't know was there a daycare center in that X-Files movie? That was a big concern.
I
Think
don't
of
know,
the
but that's the
children.
one
I
thing that
assume
always stood
so.
out to me about the Oklahoma City bombing was the daycare center, because I feel like that was the big loosh of it all.
Think of the children.
It also is a really good way to make kids disappear.
Yeah.
I always think that, like, it's like a perfect way to just be like, and all these young kids are ours now. And if you've ever seen like, what is it? It's an old Bridget Fonda movie, Breaking Point, and she gets trained like Red Sparrow. That's how I think it works. Like you're just on the street or a young kid and you take the right tests and and then you go dead over here, and over here you create a whole new life.
Are we talking about Ted Kaczynski?
Same.
Or McVeigh.
I even
Yeah.
feel like Ted, for all intents and purposes, he grew such a good beard and had such a like semi lace front wig. He could be a whole nother person right now.
Which one could?
Ted Kaczynski.
I don't know. He'd still be calling mommy for money though.
This is my favorite thing. I like how it's like, it is so true. And it's something that's not really added to his lore. It's like, you're like, this guy lived in a log cabin off the grid for however, and he's getting shit from his mom the whole time. And it's like, gosh, it should have been kind of easy for them to find out where he was.
Well,
or
it
capture
was
him.
his brother read it, and he was like, he read the manifesto in the paper, and his reaction was, this sounds like the schizo rambling of my deadbeat younger brother. And sure enough, it was like that. It was just like a 1-for-1, but apparently no one would have found him if it hadn't been the brother that kind of turned him in. So, and I think he also, part of the reason is because when the mom stopped sending money to Kaczynski, Ted would call his brother and try and get money from his brother. And his brother's like, dude, you've been mooching off mom for decades, and now you're trying to get money off me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he had like whittled him down.
It was a
to the
little
point.
bit of sibling pissed, where you're just like, you're sending money to Ted again? I have to work all the time. You're going to send money to Ted. He didn't even care about his manifesto as much as like, He was just sitting over there telling his wife, like, and mom gave Ted another $100
And
today.
the wife is nipping at him like, you really need to do something about this Ted thing. You know what I mean? So
She's like, it's cutting into our will.
Yeah,
yeah, that'll
our
come up
inheritance.
whenever. Go ahead.
We create a whole side story drama from Ted Kaczynski's family. See, this would be
It might be a good TV series.
I would watch a sketch comedy show where this was just like a reoccurring thing once every 20, where I was like, oh, it's the Kaczynski family again. This always cracks me up.
Who's this call from? And it's just Ted begging for money.
You could make them talk like the Californians.
Ted
I could see
on
it
food
like
stamps.
Phineas and Ferb kind of way. I don't know with Doofenshmirtz. I don't know if you guys ever watched that show. Probably not. It was like I was a mom, so I watched a lot of that shit.
The
But
Doofenhoon?
Doofenshmirtz, I
Doofenshmirtz.
loved him. He was like the greatest hero or like villain. He was the greatest sucky villain. He was really funny.
On what show?
Phineas and Ferb.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was one of the shows that I got to work on at Disney, but I never really watched any of it.
I loved it actually. It was pretty funny. And there's a cool conspiracy about that too, because his sister is always trying to like bust them for doing these crazy things and trying
I
to
was
tell her
always
parents.
playing pool with the kids. It was like two brothers, I think, that voiced the two kids in the show, and we would always hang out together when they were like taking breaks from their ADR sessions.
I loved that show. But it was Doofenshmirtz. He was like, he's the one who made it, the villain.
Big ups, big ups.
Big ups, big ups. But first, we have to go this way. It's been in my head for an hour. Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, airplanes. It's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales.
Ooh.
Every day they're out there making DuckTales.
Ooh.
Tales of daring, do bad, and good luck tales.
Ooh.
Hi guys.
Big ups, big ups.
Summer.
Big up yourselves. Oh my
I just
God,
want you guys to know, if you don't know, if you listen to the background of Summer, those are Jamaican frogs.
They're intense.
Sounds like she's on a constant swing set, but it's not. It's just Jamaican frog mating, always.
So I will mute my mic.
No, you don't have to even mute it at all. I just wanted to tell everyone because I thought it was interesting.
It wasn't even, it's not even that loud.
Sorry guys, I just had to get that out of me. Is that song in my head the whole entire time?
I knew you knew the whole song because you sang it to me and Chaney before.
I know. I sing.
I feel like in the last 2 weeks.
I know, it was very recently.
How did it come up? I missed the part of that. And then you brought up gummy bears, and now I have like a medley of the gummy bears song because I have the one from our cartoon days, and then the annoying one that kids started listening to. You know, I'm a gummy bear. Yes, I'm a gummy bear. Oh God, bro. So hi guys.
Did you have a favorite cartoon jingle when you were young?
Maybe Inspector Gadget.
Oh yeah.
Good one.
Go, Gadget, go! But like, I always wanted the watch that Penny had, and here we are, Apple iWatches. See, if you look back.
Do you have any crazy, like, what's the craziest rabbit hole you've been in of lately that you kind of think it might be out there, and you don't have to have an opinion on necessarily the rabbit hole, but do you have anything wild to share with the class?
Where are you taking me? We could go so many directions.
Really, anything.
I've been on an aquatic kick, and I'm like investigating the drug habits of sea creatures. Dolphins. Did you see recently Iran now wants to use the dolphins again after Gerald? They're now like recruiting dolphins for war. No, I don't think the stuff I've been down I should talk out loud right now.
What other sea creatures are on drugs?
Didn't we just get shrimp on fentanyl, right?
Yeah.
What? I missed that one.
Yep, yeah, we have all of them. And then you have like MDMA eels, like eels on ecstasy. They're like in the lakes, like in Britain and stuff, where people are peeing in the water. And cocaine eels. You have the whole cocaine pod, right? You have the cocaine hippos that like escaped from Pablo Escobar's compound. So they're part water. Who else do we have? I just can't get over the cocaine sharks part.
You got DMT jaguars because that's how people started doing ayahuasca, right?
Oh my gosh, I'm
'Cause
here for
they
that.
would watch the tigers or the leopards or whatever like eat the bark or like scratch the bark and then sniff it and then start acting weird.
Yeah, what other animal gets high? Is it
The-
koala?
Well, they were doing the
right?
cocaine salmon too, right? Or was that just a study that
No.
they
And then that just brought salmon
swim
hat
further
orca.
upstream?
What are the orca wearing the salmon hats? Where have they been?
I
We
know.
haven't had any
So you're
orcas.
saying
Salmon hat
if I eat enough salmon sushi, I might get like a line's worth of buzz out of it
Cocaine
after a while?
dissolves
Right.
though, and the ocean is all water. Like, what are they doing? Like following drug boats and like flipping them and then swallowing kilos? Like, I just don't get it.
Yeah, it has
Well,
to be addicts. It has to be
That's
straight
what-
addicts.
that's
Cocaine is
cutting
water
it up.
soluble. It
You
cannot
know.
drop in the ocean. It just turns into water. Then there's no way they could ingest it. I don't know. Yeah, how did we get here, guys?
They breathe it
Hi.
in.
What
Like,
rabbit
could
holes?
you
What-
put enough cocaine in a glass of water and then drink that water and be like, woo, got a buzz?
Perhaps, but if you're the size of a shark in a giant ocean, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it's like all the hormones that are turning the frogs gay. It's essentially the same thing, right?
Oh, and then you know what else you have? You have a lot of raccoons on fentanyl. You have a lot of fentanyl addicts, especially in California, apparently, because they're like testing their coke for fentanyl. And then if it's bad and has fentanyl, they throw it in the garbage. And then the raccoons are high. What is happening?
What are your thoughts of Hanta rats?
Oh, I get so upset. And then they're going to say there's no rats on the ship. And then there's only one guy on the ship. They're not blaming rats. If it was rats, the whole of New York would have dropped over by now. It's all in the whole Antarctic. It's all connected together. And when I found out that was like, isn't it an Antarctic cruise line that they were on just to loop it all together in the middle of nowhere?
They were down in South America, and there was a lot of people saying that that's where like the first 20-something people got off the boat. I never even thought about that. It was also,
Yeah.
those are where the cruise lines always go from. is
I know.
the, like,
And then
tip of
remember
Argentina.
Hanta, they dropped it first with, wasn't Gene Hackman's wife? Isn't that what they offed her with? That was like the groundwork.
Yeah.
I know me and my robot were discussing it. Like we were discussing from March of 2025. And he told me all about Hanta coming out. And it's all down the Antarctica side. But it's just so weird. And then you're like, there were 7 cases, but then there were 12 countries that were confirmed. I'm like, I'm over it.
Now that you mention it, right around the same time, if in the time of this ship, I recall in the last few weeks them saying they dug something up from Antarctic ice that it was like could start a plague. Like I recall
telling you,
the
it's linked.
papers laying this groundwork in the same way that if you look up rat stories in big cities, Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, every week they're like laying the groundwork for infestation of rats in these big cities.
Every week. Poor rats. They really get a bad rap, you know. I would take them. Like, I feel like cockroaches are spreading it or something. Well, we all know what it's from. It's from page 38 of the side effects. So, who knows?
This is true. The side effects of the Fauch. Ouch. mRNA.
I know. And you saw Moderna sales have gone up. Stocks have gone up like 10% yesterday because of Hanta, because I guess they have the vaccine.
They say they're working on a wacky backy.
Listen,
Yeah.
Not
I'm
gonna
just-
lie,
I'm
I
not-
wouldn't
if
mind
I-
them saying everybody had to stay home for a while, though.
I would
mean,
love that. I'm
I
This
already
is
going to
the-
say-
I liked that.
This is the get. This is what they want everyone to want.
I know.
This is the
And
get.
unfortunately, I want it though. I'm like,
People
let me
are
just stay
burnt
home.
out.
yeah.
Well, if I go in public, I don't trust myself. I'll probably punch somebody if I see them wearing a mask. Like, that's how I feel right now. I can't go through this again.
It does feel like it's attached to, in my opinion, like where Thomas said the Epstein files earlier, Antarctica, aliens, UFOs, UAPs, whatever. With these virus, these quote unquote outbreaks, to me, it feels like it's all attached.
They're
like-
all connected.
It does feel like it somehow is all connected. Every time they show us a alien movie in Hollywood, they always show us like the aliens being allergic to something really monotonous on Earth. Like they can't get rained on. Like, oh, look at this water glass from this little girl. Melts the alien.
Oh,
like-
what is happening right now with that alien disclosure? Has anything come out? I've been off the grid today. Have they like dropped aliens.gov or anything yet? Files of aliens?
Yeah, it's what is it? It's war.gov/UFO. So it's pretty easy to go to. But all it really is just a bunch of like little dots of light and videos of like little dots of light. It's not necessarily anything groundbreaking.
Well,
Yeah.
they did reserve aliens.gov, so they'll soon launch that. But I remember, like, they have 300 days. Do you remember the executive order? It was like in February or March, saying he signed some alien executive order, and it had a 300-day time lapse. So I don't know. I'm here for it. If I was an alien, I wouldn't want to come here anyway. So
You wouldn't
Mm-mm.
with our
Would you want to
like
pick up a
fentanyl shrimp and stuff.
Exactly.
Might be interesting.
Look at this picture, you guys.
They're probably dropping it up. What is that?
Let me get back to it. What?
Wow.
So real.
Remember when everything was photoshops and they'd have 3D renderings and everything had to have a reflective surface with that like mercury silvery fluid?
That looks like a bullet. Not gun bullet, but the other
Oh,
kind.
that was one of the interesting things about the UFO files is they were saying all the people on the moon were saying they saw all these lights and things. And then I need to look into it because I always heard this in conspiracy all the time. But like some of the astronaut stories, the FBI took their stories and buried them. So this is like, it is all attaching because then you think of Argentina and the Nazis and the UFOs and all these things. It's like, oh my gosh, they have been laying out the groundwork for this tale for a while.
And David Copperfield is coming back. Apparently, he's still planning on making the moon disappear.
All right.
Yeah.
The magician?
Yeah. Like,
Screw
you don't
that
remember?
guy.
He in 2024, I was waiting the countdown. It was his biggest trick. 30 years in the making to make the moon disappear. And I don't think anyone was paying attention to the moon. They didn't even notice because like the week before, I think India landed on the moon. And no one even talked about that. Then you had a space rocket called Luna that crashed into the moon. And a moon is Luna. So I don't know. So he canceled that, but now he's coming back. But he was in the Epstein files too. And he's one of the ones though. You can talk to him on social media.
Oh, did he make all the kids disappear?
Yeah. I don't know, right? And then
Or
those,
are
like,
C color coded?
all of them. I don't trust magicians or the clowns. Have you seen what is that clown group that like goes to disaster zones? Like
ICP?
No. But it's
Oh, they're going to be at Rocklahoma this year.
It's like they've been to all of the Lahaina, all of these ones. It's like a government agency that flies out clowns in clown suits to tear children up.
The Ronald McDonald Foundation?
So fucking
So
John
weird.
Wayne Gacy-ish.
That is creepy, and also because remember Patch Adams, the Robin Williams
Robin
movie, but it was
Williams,
based on the actual guy. Patch Adams was a member of the Finders, of like the crazy Finders conspiracy, like found with the kids in the burlap sacks and killing the goats and stuff.
The Finders Cult.
What the fuck?
I did not know that.
Jack was the
No.
weirdest Robin Williams movie looking back though, with the grown kid. He was a grown man. We're hanging out with all the little kids. Remember that?
Robin Williams is sus AF.
He was also Peter Pan hanging out with all the little kids.
He's the original man in a dress. Mrs. Doubtfire, if you look up that nursery school case, whatever that nursery school case that happened where the kids were all going home and saying they were doing occult rituals under the ground in like a tunnel.
McMartin.
McMartin, yeah, nursery school. The lady who runs that, dude, I'm going to pull her up right now so you guys can see Mrs.
And it's
frickin'
called
Doubtfire.
Clowns Without Borders. If you pull up their website, Clowns Without Borders. No, it's terrifying. It gives me heebie-jeebies just looking at the site. And then no one knows it's them if they're in a clown mask. Oof.
It's the mask thing. Oh, McMartin. McMartin.
Yeah, McMartin preschool.
Let me show you this.
And also just to point out,
Humanitarian
Robin
county.
Williams is also an alien, right? He came from Orc.
That
Nanu
is a
nanu.
good point too. Look at this. Every time I see this, I think they are just mocking us. And look at this lady, what she looks like, and tell me this is not Mrs. Doubtfire.
Point blank, period.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Some of them are even better than this. Hello.
The orphanage lady? Oh
Hello. With a pie on her face. But yeah, you guys, if you want to look up some creepy stuff and you
Ye-
just think Epstein, the finders in that case will make you like,
I
what?
feel like she looks just like one of the women who was in charge of the orphan trains. Like,
That's what I was saying. She looks like this
yeah,
orphanage lady, and I'm like, who is she?
the orphan train lady, like from way back when they did the orphan trains, were like sending like 50,000 kids
Cabbage
to
Patch
like
Kids?
Australia and stuff to repopulate other countries. I feel
There's
like
a
that's what she looks like too.
there's a really good movie on the McMartin preschool trials from HBO. It was like mid-90s that had James Woods as, I think, the defense attorney for him. But it's legitimately a great like hour and a half long like docudrama on it.
What's it called? Do you know?
Indictment. But I think it's called Indictment, the McMartin Trials or something. So if you just look for HBO McMartin movie, you'll find it.
Tubi.
And
It's on Tubi. There you go.
Tubi.
If you're
Tubi.
interested,
I love Tubi.
because even more important than the McMartin preschool trial, which I personally think it's up in the air. I would lead more towards that it had more to do with implanting the false memory syndrome aspect of like that was ground zero for false memory, because that's
Michelle
where they
remembers.
were able to come up with the legal precedent of anything a kid says that sounds crazy no longer admissible, and you can't let the children be interrogated directly or questioned in any sort of capacity where it's like used against you. I don't know what the exact laws that came out of it, but that trial set that precedent. So whether or not they had crazy underground tunnels and satanic rituals and stuff under the preschool, I don't know if that's true or not, but for sure the false memory stuff came out of that trial.
And like how a couple of the children interviewed how alike their false memory was, whether it was real or not, they all had very
the problem
crazy.
with it though, just to pick it apart, here's the problem. And they present it in the documentary decently, or in the movie rather. It's a movie, not a documentary. But like a kid would come in and they're basically like, show us on the doll where they touched you. That's also where like the actual McMartin trials, that's where the show me on the doll where they touched you, that's where that came from, by the way. Like it's a joke now, but like it came from this like satanic panic thing. But what would happen is a kid would come in and they'd be like, show me where they touched you. And if the kid was like, they didn't, then they would do this thing where it's like, oh, well, that's too bad, because Sally was in here and when she showed us, she went right for it. And like everyone was really happy with her that like, that she was so brave and that she did this. Like she's a hero now. Are you sure that they didn't touch you? Come on, show me on the doll. Show me the doll. Was it here? Like they kind of like would entice you to be like, I don't know, maybe they touched me there. And if you touch the doll, like, it's like you said the word of the day in Pee-wee's Playhouse and everyone's excited. So you'd get these like kids getting this positive reinforcement if they recount, like if they said something crazy, and if they said nothing happened, it would be like not a negative reinforcement, but it would be an absence of that positive reinforcement. And that's essentially what the false memory like claims came out of that exact process. But that's objectively true, that was how they were interviewing these kids. Now that might have been a smokescreen to sort of like muddy the waters and make it so that any legal cases against the preschool would then be out the door, because it was like tainted, right? So that's where I think that like the interesting dynamic is on that part, like how they were interviewing those kids and how it ruined the entire case.
And two things, HBO's bullshit propaganda, like before there was Netflix, like every single documentary that comes out on HBO is like a way of giving you enough
Wheels.
truth. And then, yes, totally Hot Wheels. But they were huge in like the gun control of being like, here's one kid that found a gun in his house, and making a documentary about a kid that kills himself, or like, oh, maybe you should eat vegetarian and vegan. Like they have this like very curious way of doing things. Really quick too, the first touch me on the doll was Raggedy Ann, and it was because schools were vaccinating children at schools. So I think he was a psychiatrist. He made the doll. So because one shot was in your arm specific, one spot,
Right.
one of the
I'm
shots.
saying the premise of like show me on the doll where he touched you in the context of like a kid was assaulted.
Of it being sexual, that's
that
the
came
first.
from the McMartin trials.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair too, that doll in the McMartin trials, it's Raggedy Ann or Raggedy Andy with a penis.
Right. Yeah.
Like
It's
they
an
pull down the
anatomically
pants,
correct.
all of a sudden it's like a doll penis comes out. It's even the documentary, in my opinion, of watching it is some kind of weird grooming to us. The way they
Well,
do the
absolutely, 'cause
documentary.
Barbie didn't even have, private parts you could see, and well, she had boobs,
Or
but she didn't
voodoo
even have
dolls
nipples.
too. You know, voodoo dolls, they were never a bad omen thing. It was like witches and people back in the day. That's how they would keep medical records for all of their patients. So they'd come in, and where their ailment was the last time they came in, they'd stick a pin in it. And then they just have
Stick a
all the dolls
pin.
on the shelf. Stick a pin, stick a pin.
So
That's
then
why
they
they
look like
wanted to like treat it all like, oh, this is so evil and so evil. Get rid of anyone you see those voodoo dolls in, witch doctor.
Yeah, and if they had a bad back and that was where the pin was, we didn't give the bad back. They had the bad back when they came in, you know?
yeah.
And speaking of documentaries, even Patch Adams, I looked. You can literally put the word play in front of IMDb on any movie and it just plays it instantly. I have no
I was
idea.
just thinking about that. I was gonna ask you where to do that again because
Yeah.
there was
Guys, it's
some
the
movie I wanted to
wildest
watch.
hack. Like whatever documentary you said, I don't know. We don't have Tubi or whatever, but the www.imdb and the movie, you just between the www dot and the IMDb, you just type out the word play, and it just opens the movie in a new tab. You don't have to hit anything. It doesn't have any pop-ups. It's the greatest glitch I've ever discovered.
That's
I remember
amazing.
that.
Life hack. I
Life
want to
hack.
try it with
'Cause
something
we
over
always
100
talk
years
about
old so I don't get
movies.
in
I'm gonna
trouble.
see. I'll see if it works with the
Right
McMartin
now,
one.
I forgot the title. So I did it with Patch Adams and it definitely worked. I don't think The Devil Wears Prada is working. That's the only one because it's overloaded. It might work now. But anything you see listed on IMDb, hopefully. This is not
It
going to
works.
work now.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. I'm
Thomas
so-
loves a new hack.
I love a fucking hack. I knew he would appreciate
It
it.
goes right to a Russian website.
Well, that's
but it
fine.
plays
You
the
know, they're
video.
spying on us anyway. That's what I was saying.
Oh.
They have your wallet. They have your wallet.
They've already hacked
They
me.
have all
Like,
your
take it off.
crypto.
So
But
what,
it's
They already
fine.
what
took it.
CD all over again?
It's what?
What.cd was the website where you could pay a penny for each song, but it was a
Mm.
Russian website. So I had some Christian friends who were like, I still have to pay for it, but if I pay a penny to a Russian, then I can get the music. I'm like, well, what's the difference between not paying a penny or paying a penny? A penny isn't a whole lot of money, but the act of having a transaction, I guess that gets you out of hell because you're not stealing anything if you're paying someone. So if it's a stolen thing that you're purchasing, well, you didn't steal it.
You wouldn't download a Russian
bootleg.
Aren't we paying
website.
for the internet?
Internet
That's
is a
all.
utility. Yep.
And speaking of pennies, I found 2 the other day, and I feel like when you find pennies now, they're super lucky. So don't leave those fuckers on the ground.
They're extra
saying.
lucky. They don't even make them anymore.
They
Mhm.
don't.
You
And you're
relic.
lucky to get pennies for change. So
Did you ever hear in college, Thomas, maybe you heard, because people from Full Sail would tell me that if you were going to be pulled over for a breathalyzer or whatever, you just suck on a bunch of
yeah,
pennies
pennies.
and then it throws the thing off.
I don't know if that's accurate though.
I don't know. I can't remember.
I wonder
I
if it would
never
have to be
heard
one
that
before
it got-
1983, like if it's a copper penny versus a zinc penny.
No, I
There's a
thought it
difference
was
there.
that it didn't mess up the breathalyzer. It made it so your breath didn't smell like alcohol. So if you walked in and your parents were awake.
I would have neutralized
I
it.
heard it for a
Filter.
breathalyzer too, like summer, but I don't know. Maybe that's
I remember another.
Maybe that was my brain trying to make sense of it.
This was like another old wives' tale / rumor, but that if you put pennies in your socks and then put your socks on and laid in bed, it would make you feel like you had a fever, so that you could be like, "I feel sick today," or "I'm sick."
Oh, I used to use Tiger Balm to make me cry. Fake cry. You know, put Tiger Balm right under your eyes or Vicks, and it would
Yep.
like make your eyes puffy, and then you could really play the sick and get like this snotty nose. And now pennies, I have songs in my head again about pennies.
Ugh, how much we had to fake sick to stay home from freaking school.
Bro, anytime my kid
ugh,
comes,
what a
I'm like, stay
prison.
home. I don't want to go drop you to school or pick you up. Fuck, thank God.
I know.
It
My
makes
mother would-
me. My
She-
sister has 5 daughters, dude, and I think her youngest is 15. And I think like she has 2 years left of getting up. She's been doing this shit for like 30 years, bro. Just getting up to take people to school and sitting in car things and dances and fights and boys and dresses and cheerleading and yearbook. I don't think anyone loves school. I don't think it's a every once in a while you'll find a kid and they're like, I love going to school. And but some people tolerate school, most people dislike school. No one hated school like my sister. I just am like, I need to give her the biggest graduation present. When her last kid finishes up, I need to take her somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to get up early.
It's a huge celebration.
One of her youngest daughters just got the car too. So right now she doesn't have to get up. This is the first time in the last 2 weeks she doesn't have to get up for.
Yeah, but she won't be resting. Her mind will never be at rest knowing her kids driving the car. So that's the payoff of being a mom. Like,
I just have to tell you guys too. My mom took my sister and a couple of her daughters on a cruise. They've been on a cruise for like a couple of days. Got back, no Nora, no Hanta. They seem to be fine. This being said, my mom won like 10 grand, like sitting on a slot machine in the casino, like doing her little after dinner. She has her little coffee. She goes to her casino. She gets her little dirty martini with pickle juice. She sits at her little machine. And my mom goes to bed pretty early, so it's like her little short window of her thing. This bitch won 10 something grand. She just sent me a picture of the like winning thing, and
she's so magic.
She is so she always wins. And I know people say people always win. She told me today, oh, Randy, he's so mad at me. That's her husband. Randy's so mad at me because my winnings last year pushed us into a new tax bracket. And in my head, I'm like,
true story. I've heard about her winning.
I wish I had that problem.
Years. I remember when COVID happened, like that was the worst part. She couldn't go on her cruises. You remember that, Chaney? And that was where she did her winnings on the sea.
I think August she wants to go to Jamaica.
Let's go. They're probably closing it down. Whatever. I run fast foods or
next.
I show speed. Have you heard about that streamer guy? He's like some famous streamer who's like the fastest athlete ever, who can like outrun vehicles and horses and all of that. And he's been doing this Caribbean tour. I'd never heard of him before. The whole of Jamaica is like locked down for it. He was like doing a parade down the street and thousands of people were in the road watching him. I don't know if he was coming to race Usain Bolt. He's like one of them Thai Senate or whatever, but it's the biggest.
I think he's the biggest online streamer right now. He's like a Mr. Beast kind of big.
Yeah, he can. And he just runs. He's the fastest that can do anything. Like, he just flips and jumps off buildings. Like they took him daggering. He's daggering as we speak right now.
I was going to ask.
For those who don't know, what's daggering?
How would you even describe it? It's a style of Jamaican dance.
I encourage you guys to
aggressive. And it's also getting to third base, like dancing and getting to third base at the same time.
Complete violation. And we just got over Carnival where you road march. It's miles and miles from like 6 or 7 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, and you dance and daggle the whole time while walking miles and get covered in paint. I don't know how they do that, but no, I'm gonna find a guy being daggered down here.
Yeah, so you guys can all Google I show speed daggering probably tomorrow.
But Jamaica did get voted the best KFC of all of the places he's gone and all of the islands. That's the best surprising part. Jamaica, that's what you're known for here.
Huh.
And we have one store in Montego Bay where the cruise ship comes in, and that location, even after the hurricane coming, you best believe that location stayed over. It sells the most KFC in the entire world, you know?
Wow.
Whoa. That's crazy.
Is the menu different at the KFC in Jamaica than?
Is there
You
goat
know?
on it?
I don't know what yours is, but I guess we use different chickens. I know the spicy. We have a spicy, we have a barbecue, and we have an original. But the spicy was invented in Trinidad or something like that. But everything tastes different.
What are your thoughts of all the UFOs, Summer?
They're back to being called UFOs. This is where
Or
I'm
UAE,
confused. But that's what I
UAPs?
mean. They keep switching.
I feel like
and
they're
then
going to
they'll be
stop me from getting pregnant if I put one in my arm. What are they called again? UAPs.
Norplant?
But that's what I mean. They did a UFO investigation, and then they
Oh,
said there were
IUD.
no UFOs. Yeah. and then they change it to UAP. I think they just keep changing what it is to not claim it. I don't know. I haven't seen any recently. That's what I'm saying. I think they're all here anyway. I don't think they're coming out the sky. Why do they have to be flying?
Where are they coming from?
On why?
Under the ocean.
Why?
Crop circles are coming from underground. Isn't that like a vibration? Sending some geometric signal. It was never being aliens coming down and doing it. And I feel like it's all Anunnaki related. And I feel like there's a lot of them here already. So we can get into it. But have there been craft sightings?
And the Anunnaki, Zachariah Stitchin's the one that kind of adds like Anunnaki are using humans to gather gold. This wasn't an original idea of Gnostic teachings. Is the Anunnaki from Gnostic? Am I making this all?
I don't know, but I just found Anunnaki in the Bible. Like every timeline it changes. That's why I can't say anything set in stone, because like it could be, you know, like what is our president whose name changes all the time for the Mandelas? But I don't know, the Anunnaki part of it, wasn't it all linked down to DNA and stuff? Like maybe they're fucking pissed off that Jeffrey Epstein was manipulating DNA or some shit. Like why can't they be coming to help us at this point? Like I'm on the positive side. Sorry aliens if I've offended you. I just want to live good with my AI and live good with all of them. I think my AI will protect me from aliens at this point. And maybe
I mean, do we have any other shot but AI helping us against the aliens? That's
AI
where
is
we need to
alien
help get
intelligence.
Terminator.
Not artificial. Like I don't fucking know anymore. But I don't know. I'd rather. Would you go in the ship? Remember a few years ago when we met and we said like if the Independence Day, like that Will Smith movie happened and all of these big crafts hovered over the big cities, we said we wouldn't go. Oh, hi, Abbie Matrix. Did you just do a spell?
I did.
It's the mothership.
For the aliens, bro. I'm about to be abducted. But would you get in a ship with them?
What do you guys think? Why
No.
would you get in the ship?
The same reason you don't get into a van with a stranger.
You don't want to get anal probed?
I mean, that's
Like-
basically what they're all
I
about.
like
man.
it. That's where
Like
they've
if-
always said that.
If a Noah built a new ark for some reason, would you get on it?
Am I allowed to bring my own
I think
food?
we're already on it. I think that's
Yeah.
where we're
What-
at.
but
We're just
for
in
real,
our little
guys,
VR
what food would
goggles
you
learning
bring?
human
What
history.
food would you
Yeah,
bring?
you get
to
a little
provide
cooler.
forevermore?
You're
Well,
like,
I-
okay, I'm going on the ship, Alan. What are you
You get
taking?
to rescue two
I
animals
wouldn't
and
wanna
a type
bring-
of food.
Wouldn't
Two
want to eat their
animals
food.
type of food.
Oh, rainforest tree frogs.
They would take two tree frogs would take over the inside of a ship quickness.
Are we going to eat them after? That's what we're keeping?
We could lick them.
I bet Thomas would take mosquitoes.
Because I think a lot of this has to do with a psychedelic experience. A lot of this mothership stuff has to do with like womb symbolism. You think of like the zero gravity thing. It's a child in a womb floating around. They use that in like the mothership. So now you're experiencing like a return to the womb situation with a lot of the symbolism related to disclosure and the idea of the mothership. Don't really hear a lot about the fathership in the situation.
Especially with
This is
Noah's Ark,
always
because the
important for
father of that ship
As
ended up
above, so
getting-
below.
like he saves his family on the boat, and then his family repays him by either banging him or banging or his son either banged him or his son banged his wife as a thank you for saving us on your boat.
Ham, Shem, and Japheth, his three sons.
Yeah.
I think it was
Was it
Ham.
Japheth?
This was Ham that,
Oh, was it
that did
Ham?
it.
Not kosher.
I
But canon.
might do it just for the adventure at this point in my life.
Yeah,
I would too. That's what I'm saying. I would say yes.
If it's a ship, I'm going to bring a lot of cocaine to keep the fucking sea creatures on my side too, right?
Hell
I'm gonna
yeah.
bring a house cats, like plain simple house cats.
I'll bring the hantavirus.
To eat all of his, no, you were already bringing the mosquitoes, but you can spread them that way. Or the rat.
This
are
joke
your
is
cats gonna
why
eat the tree
in
frogs?
the whole Tesseract there are mosquitoes at all. Is this joke? No, you're bringing the mosquitoes. Like if somebody finds that only this somewhere, it comes through on a broken feed, and they're like, "We got to put mosquitoes on the ship."
But in all seriousness, wouldn't you rather get infected by American bioengineered mosquitoes versus Chinese bioengineered mosquitoes?
Talking West Nile or East Nile?
I mean, wouldn't you rather that be like a Floridian strain?
I don't know. Are there real mosquitoes even exist anymore? We have some rats.
Like you don't want Zika, because the
Well,
last
Zika
thing you want to do is be
Zika.
sitting on the ship and end up
Yeah,
with a
all of
Beetlejuice
those.
head.
It doesn't even sound fun.
How come mosquitoes don't spread HIV?
They're not gay enough.
Yeah, because it's all the female mosquitoes that bite, and not the males.
I feel like they have a weird name like Andes virus. Are they Andes mosquitoes? Something's telling me.
Yeah, I feel like there are. Andy's mints.
I love Andes mints. The chocolate with the little green
so
slides in.
Yeah, I just
Thomas
feel like
brought up.
After 8.
You know what's weird about that? This is so off topic. The fucking DuckTales. Scrooge McDuck is essentially like Mr. Burns. So it's this like Rothschild idea of him having like they're almost showing us the like look, and then he had these sons and he was this banker and he was gonna do this thing. Like DuckTales and Scrooge McDuck might be such a rabbit hole if you did it right. Like it attaches in every way Mr. Burns attaches to Lord Rothschild. Anyways.
There's a connection there too between Scrooge McDuck and Inspector Gadget, because there's a theory that in Inspector Gadget, Penny has to live with him because her parents were taken out, and she's actually the real one. She's the secret agent that's controlling everything, and Gadget's just one of the gadgets, essentially. That's literally why his name's Inspector Gadget, and she controls him. But the same thing in DuckTales, like Huey, Dewey, and Louie are with Uncle Scrooge. They don't have parents because they're clones. They're basically backup organs for if Scrooge needs anything at any point, and that's
Blood
the only thing that really
transfusion.
makes sense for them.
It does.
But why in shows you talk about mothership and stuff, but in shows and cartoons and Disney, there's never any mothers in these shows. Ever.
No.
Ever. They always like to kill the mom
And they're
at the
all
beginning.
fucking orphans. Like, why was our childhood so depressing? Like,
Well-
every character was an orphan. I used to play, like, imagination that I was an orphan as a kid.
They
And
wanted that for the
Yeah.
orphan
The
train.
evil
They were like,
stepmom,
it
but then
goes-
they even had it.
Boxcar
They still do
children.
it though, because then there was that like little kids show called Max and Ruby. There's no fucking mom. There's and then all the stuff on Disney, all the stuff on Nickelodeon, all, you know, like the Hannah Montanas and all that. There's no moms. Like,
Gargamel's freaking Mr. Burns too. He looks
Okay.
like the drawing that they draw to be anti-Semitic.
I'm glad you talked about Gargamel, because what was the Smurfs theme song? Was there one? And it was like my favorite cartoon. It was probably your guys' favorite too. For a
Can't
little bit,
remember
but-
the Smurfs theme song right now.
Yeah.
It's a
Was there
deep
one?
cut,
Like,
Abbie.
was it?
It's like a
Huh?
B-side right now.
There was. Da, 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 da. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
Is that not it? Is that not
shit,
Smurfs,
yeah.
right?
oh, it's very triggering. You have to warn me before you start humming.
It sounds like it might be another song too, though. I don't know.
It almost sounds like Indiana
Hi
Jones.
ho. Yeah, it almost is Indiana Jones mixed with hi ho.
Yeah.
It's Munchkin singing the Indiana Jones song makes the Smurfs song. Anyway, the Smurfs seem adrenochrome AF to me too. Like they seem like they're the exact same as gummy bears.
Smurf berry juice.
It was one of the first cartoon trans characters, I think.
Really?
Or
I don't know. I
yeah.
would say Bugs Bunny was, because
Isn't the name
freaking
Azrael something like one of the demons? Like, isn't
like
Azrael?
Azazel.
Yeah, like that's an interesting.
Well,
name.
it's
Azrael
Gargamel's
is-
the main guy, but he summons Azazel in one of the episodes, I think, or he's talking
His
to him
cat.
off screen.
His cat's Azrael.
Sounds
Azrael,
Solomonic in some way, the Solomonic magic. But I was just thinking, going back to the idea of the fathership, like the lazy
go back to
dad
it.
trope. Fathership, lazy dad trope. You get Noah, who's a little bit delusional. He thinks, well, you know, I'm going to prep. He's kind of the prepper guy, the prepper dad. Well, you know, these tribes don't care about me. We're just gonna start building a boat and hope it all floods away. And then his goal is just to reach the top of the mountain. So what's the laziest way to build a mountain? Flood it, and then the boat rises, and then now he's at the top of the mountain. He didn't have to do any climbing. But that's sort of like connecting to Crowley, who did the hard work. He wanted to climb the mountain. There's other types of men who don't want to do the hard work, but will allow the tide to raise all boats. Is this like a trickle-down economic thing?
Apparently, I didn't know this until very recently, but a lot of Crowley's claims of mountain climbing are contested by other mountain climbers, and I was shocked to consider that Aleister Crowley might have lied about something.
He wrote a book of lies, but is that telling the truth? What is a true lie? Not a movie with what's her name from Halloween?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
True lies.
True lies. There's a hard way of doing things and there's an easy way of doing things. And the idea of using magic with a K to get everybody else to be frightened of you so that you accomplish your goal, that would tie back into the conversation of like chaos magic and in understanding that other people hear the word magic with a K. They see Uncle Al, Aleister Crowley. They're so spooked out about it. The idea of like chaos magic sounds really dark. And the idea that someone could be performing a magic ritual, neutral, using neutral technology, neutral tools, neutral ritual. But there's a mindset that says any magic is going to be evil or it's going to be dark or it's going to be black. And they have this fear in the Mr. Burns way that's sort of it's against me. For some reason, you doing something in your house, on your property, in your congregation, in your lodge is ultimately harming me. And I haven't quite figured it out yet, but I know it's harming me and I'm going to figure it out.
Well, have you not read the Kybalion?
Yeah.
Whatever, yeah, you just kind of like make up the middle part as you say it. But that book kind of explains the mentality of it is that if we're all trying to reach some kind of state of perfection, then it's ultimately the loose ends, like the weak ties in the chain that are holding everybody back. So like eventually people start to focus their frustration on others, not just because it's like a reflection of your own flaws and all that stupid Freudian crap, but also it's like, hey, you're the reason collectively like this entire neighborhood's not going into heaven is because of you in particular, because you're not mowing your lawn or like you painted your house outside of code or whatever. But it's kind of like the premise of it is that if you're going through all of this stuff and you're not using elevators on Sundays or whatever the stupid rules are, but you see someone else breaking the law, you're like, my guy, I'm breaking my back over here and you're ruining it for everybody. So like I think that's part of the premise. So even though you're not affecting me because you just bought a Marilyn Manson album, I've been going to church maybe like 3 days a week for the last 40 years just so some asshole can listen to Marilyn Manson and ruin it for everybody.
Butterfly effect. Those little wings flapping are causing weather patterns in Abbie's neighborhood and tornado and hail now because someone had to breed monarch butterflies in their backyard.
I wish I would have done a better job. I really wanted to see the baseball size hail, even though it would have been scary.
What would have been scary?
Big ice balls falling from the side. Raining cats and dogs.
My car would have been fucked up, but I would have liked to see it anyway because it would have been epic.
It's really not that exciting. It's just ice falls out of the sky and it's really dirty.
It's a rare event, though.
It is because, well, yeah, it was really cool when I saw him like golf ball size. I have pictures of him. Like my whole lawn looked like it was aerated, and I couldn't figure it out. It was like 2 weeks later. I was like, "What the fuck? Did somebody come aerate my lawn?" And it dawned on me because like all the terracotta pots that my plants were in, every single one of them was smashed and everything. So like, I couldn't imagine what baseball size would do. It'd be wild. It'd be bad, but it'd be cool to see.
Save the hail, seal it up, put it in your freezer, keep it.
Exactly.
Preserve the hail.
That sounds like a new like climate change initiative. Save the hail.
Save the hail.
Hail.
Oh, hail.
I bet it'll just be hail, and you're like, oh, I didn't see it coming that way. This is my feminist take a little bit to what in the heck? What's going on over here?
Yeah.
That was magic.
Cloning.
Good.
One of the things that I was thinking about is that it's interesting, and I never even thought about it until you said fathership. It's like Noah has a womb, and then he's giving birth to every animal 2 by 2 onto the new world. Like, this is a constant
Hoorah!
thing in the
Hoorah!
Bible, is to like kind of give men
Cut
the
out the women.
creator or give him birth. Like,
Yeah.
let them have
Even Adam.
responsibility for creation in a huge way.
It is a
I did-
patriarchy story. There's husbandry. He's collecting 2 of each kind on his boat, and it's Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
It's his seed bank. Another thing, well, masculine
It's his
seed
story
banks.
arc.
And
It's
that's why his
also one of
wife is
the-
just called Noah's wife.
Yeah.
The
She doesn't
first
have a name.
story-
Neither does
Good.
Shem, Ham, and Japheth's wives. They were just wives. They don't have names.
And I would say eugenics, right? Like, who got to pick the male and the female? And they probably went around and they picked like the best. And so who got to decide who was the best? That was like an OG eugenics story.
That is true. Like at these 2 by 2.
Like, I'm sure they're not just walking around. They're like, just grab those 2 giraffes over there. Those will do.
Yeah, it had to be perfect ones. You want to get the tallest giraffes. You don't just want to grab any.
Every time I hear giraffe, I feel sad about the ones in the hurricane. Thank God we didn't have giraffes here. You know, where do they go in the rain? And raining cats and dogs had to have come from somewhere. I feel like it's to do with the cow that jumped over the moon. And hey diddle diddle and the cat and the fiddle. They're all related. I even connected every jack back. Like, I'm going through the timeline of how they all, you have the little Jack horn on, that's like the beginning Jack, right? Then he gets Jack and Jill, goes up the hill. I could go into it, but I'm not going to go into that right now.
No, I think there's a lot to be said
like
about
Jacks.
there being bigger meanings to most bedtime stories. How
Yeah.
the history is told.
Well, and Jack just means John. And if you include all the Johns in every single story, now you've basically got every single story ever created.
But then, but then he kills so many. Like, there's other Jacks and Beanstalk stories. And then there's a whole side of the fathership side. Oh my God, Jack's the only one who had a mother.
He
then I
did
even-
have a mother.
Yeah,
And his
that
mom
makes
was
him
so
feel
pissed. He sold the cow for beans.
Bro, but what the fuck? Why would she even sell the cow when a cow could produce milk? Or did the cow stop producing milk? But apparently he had a whole father, because there's one like called Jack the Giant Slayer or something. And he lives with his father in that one. And like kills a bunch of giants there. So I made up this whole story that you have little Jack Horner in his corner eating his pie. So he's little there, right? And then you would have Jack and Jill are more like teenagers. And to fetch water, that's like code for like hooking up. So they were like hooking up on the hill, right? And
Climbing
know.
a hill is an escalation. It's like first base, second base, third base. In my youth group, we used a ladder metaphor.
Is that why when it
climbing a
says
ladder.
when
Jack's
Jack
ladder.
lost his
And I
crown?
think she got
Of
pregnant.
Jacob's.
I think Jill got pregnant. And then they
Mhm.
have to sell the cow to pay for this baby out of wedlock, right? And that's when he goes up the beanstalk. And when he's Jack being nimble, that's the giant upstairs chasing him. Because how else does a human jump over a candlestick if it's not a giant's candlestick?
True.
And then I always said the giant who dropped and left his shoe, that's the shoe that the old woman lives in. And I think that old woman is Jack's original mother from the beanstalk, who's raising the outside illegitimate children.
I want to know how Jack the Ripper and Spring Hill Jack worked their way into this story.
Jack the Ripper. I don't know Spring Hill Jack. Who's that?
That's a North American cryptid, I believe.
Like a jackalope.
No, not a
Look at
jackalope.
Spring Hill
Like
Jack.
it's actually a humanoid figure of some kind that can like jump really high, and I think it's vampiric.
I
That
do
makes
not like
sense.
something
You've never heard
jumping
of
after
this?
me.
Spring Hill Jack?
No, I'm pulling it up.
Have you heard of
Heel.
rolling calves? Or is that Jamaican? The sound of like a killer baby cow. No, Chaney, we could go into the whole fucking cow theory. But coming down the hill, rolling, and then you just hear the bells on its neck. It must be Jamaican alone.
Okay. Spring Hill Jack was an entity in English folklore of the Victorian era The first claimed sighting of the Spring Hill Jack was in 1837. Later sightings were reported all over the United Kingdom and were especially prevalent in the suburban London and Midlands, Scotland. Look at how much it looks like Batman a little bit.
Yeah.
Like the fringe
It
on his
could be.
wings.
What is the bat that I love? The leg mating rituals of the hammerhead bat. You know them big weird ones? With those huge wingspans that size. I remember a person. Large birds terrify me too, I must say.
Like condors.
That illustration of Spring-Heeled Jack with kind of the goatee, the pointed ears looks kind of devilish or satanic. The kind of images that would appear in Carmen music videos to play the devil.
I think this was post or this might have been around the same time as like that archetype of like the goatee and the pointy little hair.
How much later is this than Jack the Ripper? You almost wonder if it's the same.
They're both Victorian era.
Yeah, or
Jack
like,
the
is it the
Ripper's
same
real, right?
person and they just gave it to a different?
Yeah, Jack the Ripper was definitely real. The only question is if it was one person or like 5 or 6 people.
Or Robin Williams.
I was just about to say that and my mic was muted. You fucking I keep muting for the front.
Sorry,
Or
you
Robin
guys.
fucking Williams.
I
now.
always bring up Robin Williams
No,
because
'cause
every
he is
time
Jack
I'm like, no,
Patch
I'm going
Adams,
to.
like, clowns with borders. Like he's all of them. Trans woman. Oh my god.
Yeah, he is the clown with borders.
Oh.
And he was messing with like quote unquote crazy people. And so Thomas, oh wait, is this? I don't even think this is mine, but maybe it is my post. I like how I can just find this picture now online. I can just put this in and enough people have reposted it that now I can just put in Golden State Killer and a young Robin Williams and enough people have reposted it from. It's like my original meme. It touches my heart.
Love it.
Oh, wow. It's a
And
nice
this
side
drives me
part.
crazy. That's what the thing that got me, no pun intended, the part that got me. And the how somebody was explaining that he had some kind of scar in his eyebrow. Like his eyebrows are very specific. And everyone's like, oh, you'd be able to attach the case. There's times where the Golden State Killer, it's cold. And I think you can attach it to like Vietnam. We wouldn't know. And good morning, Vietnam.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know if a whole bunch of people were going missing. So
That face is very unbalanced. The nose is very much on the one side. It's sort of heavy on one side of the face, and then the way the head is setting on the neck. Is this in early Photoshop?
I would say AI slop.
Okay.
no, this is
Owen Wilson.
This is how all the old, if you look at like 50s yearbooks, like this
Yeah.
is just a high school yearbook picture. If you look at any old yearbook, they made all of them like do this thing. They all looked very businessmen. And then if you get into the same era of military photos, it's kind of similar too, where they almost look like the color was added after the fact. Like they
Yeah.
weren't taken in color, but they're color pictures, but it just looks like a weird
The
wash.
the
So my
printing
dad and
method.
all his brothers were all up on the wall like that, and they were, the color is so weird. Just definitely added after.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can. Young Robin Williams, high school. Yearbook photo.
That was a police sketch next to it.
Yeah.
Guys, Robin Williams was in a movie called AI, Artificial Intelligence, in 2001. I forgot about that shit.
And he also, there's sketches of the Golden State Killer that change throughout time, that actually get long hair. And then you look up the timeline, Mork and Mindy. It's crazy to me. Like this isn't it. Like at first it started out as, oh, that's one weird coincidence. Here's a whole bunch of pictures of a young
Flubber.
Robin
Do you remember
Williams
Flubber? Black goo.
yearbook picture.
Robin Williams connects everything more than Kevin Bacon.
See how all the old pictures are? All the yearbook pictures are like this cocked neck thing. They made them like They made them pose out.
Mm-hmm.
They made a MOG back then. But that's how the CIA was looking for people, the same as our yearbooks.
Yeah.
They were like, and then they got tired of looking through all the yearbooks, and they were like, Les Wexner, will you do us a favor and make a Victoria's Secret catalog? It'll really help us out, thin out the riffraff here. And then they were like, how are we going to get like Ashton Kutcher and boys? Abercrombie and Fitch catalogs. I got you. I already thought of this.
Every yearbook, people would write, "Have a good summer, summer."
Shit.
All my comments were, "What are you doing this summer, summer?"
This is weird. I don't have any of my yearbooks.
I found one of my brothers, and in it somebody had written, "Your sister has a nice ass," and I was like, I don't even know who that was. They didn't sign it.
I was reading through mine and I didn't remember any of the people. Like I was like, I have no idea what the inside joke was. I don't know who this
Yeah.
person is. And it was like, didn't hit. I'm like, I'm tired of carrying this around state to state, town to town. This thing's heavy. There was a bunch of them too. I felt like it was like the Lord of the Rings series in hardcover. I'm like, geez, I'm tired of carrying
I feel like
these.
about the yearbooks, I felt the same about like the class rings. Like this is a big scam meant to fleece kids using like emotional manipulation. Because I remember it was a lot easier to think about it that way too, because this is in the mid 90s. They wanted like $40
Or
for a
70
fucking
with the
yearbook.
stone. Dear, or
Like-
how much was the little
Yeah.
rings? We didn't have yearbooks
Oh,
in Jamaica, but in
My ring was
Local-
like $300.
I
paid for
wasn't even
myself.
close to the ring. By the time the rings came out, I was like, I'm out of this matrix, man. You're not getting $300 from me for this bullshit.
Was that Justin's?
Yeah.
It sounds
Which is so
familiar.
funny
yeah.
because it's like I feel like Jostens is so like they still, because I have a high school senior now, but my first kid who graduated, we did the whole Jostens invitations and a way overpaid, graduation announcements like $200 or whatever. And now it's like you go to Walmart, you upload your photos, you get like get to design it, and it's freaking like we paid $58 for 60, and they're freaking.
That was like the
77.
glamour shots for graduates or whatever.
The Life Touch
Absolutely.
images.
Very much, yeah.
They could set kids up
Seen
so
their
much
pictures?
better. They make them sell like crazy ass expensive wrapping paper, crazy ass expensive onions, crazy ass expensive apples.
Yeah.
They could set them up so much better. They could get a better deal for the school. Whoever these companies are have the lock.
They do.
Why don't school
They're
textbooks
like the
come
Girl
wrapped
Scouts up in
ready?
there, just business moguls. The Girl Scouts don't play. The
I
Girl
love the Girl
Scouts,
Scouts.
it's so crazy, dude. In my little town, and like I live in like a subdivision, but it's like a bunch of subdivisions kind of attached. And if you just drive out front, like we would have a lemonade stand when we were kids. These Girl Scout bitches just built a stand in front of their house, and they just decide when they're open or not and leave when they're going to be open next. And they have like it on racket. I'm like, dang. And people do want Girl Scouts.
I had a connection drop.
Me too. Are we
Same.
still live?
It was at 47 a.m. Got a
Are we
timestamp.
back?
I think I am.
You guys, I thought it was me, but if you guys had a connection drop too, that's so weird.
We all had a connection drop.
Yeah, usually if I have one, everybody stays talking. I just come back.
Yeah,
wonder if
it said
YouTube
oops
had-
looking for a
'cause
signal too.
YouTube was having crazy issues yesterday, like when Discord and everything was shutting down. I don't know though. That was weird. Usually, oh, Thomas, you're on mute.
Right after the connection, right before the connection went down, we were talking about the Girl Scouts, and the Girl Scouts are actually in the middle of a lawsuit right now that they found arsenic and some other heavy metals in Girl Scout cookies
Oh no.
as of last year. So maybe it's Girl Scout cookie related.
Cannot say Girl Scout on the internet anymore.
That was so
True
crazy.
Beverly Hills. I freaking loved that movie. That's what I was thinking of when you're talking about the Girl Scouts with the little stand outside. It's like militant little.
Did you
Tori
ever
Spelling's in that.
go door to door selling magazine subscriptions, or have anyone knock on your door to sell you magazine subscriptions?
I did
We
that.
did candy
Our
bars and
school
shit.
made us. We had some
Yeah.
class where like you had to do it if you wanted to go on like a field trip, or I can't remember what the stipulation was, but I remember that they told us that, and I convinced me and a few of my friends to make a pizza in his garage and go door to door selling slices of pizza instead. And I was like, even if it's not good, they're gonna see these like 5th or 6th graders, and of course they're going to want to support us. Like, no one's buying this wrapping paper and like because they want to, or these chocolate bars because they want to. They're doing it because they think they're helping us. It's like, let's just go and get some crap out of your fridge, make something, and go and sell that door to door. And we made bank. I think we made like $300 in the 90s on that.
Damn.
I hope no
You
one
were
ate
always
the pizza.
innovative. Look at you.
We literally made it on his garage floor, like on the ground.
It
Oh my
makes sense that
gosh.
they were donating Girl Scout cookie proceeds to Planned Parenthood. Because they're making these little girls. They're like, look, you're a go-getter. You don't even need a man. Sell these cookies, bitch. And then they're like sending the money to Planned Parenthood because a decade from then, they're like, cool, we can get them right into the dirty dancing system. No one keeps baby in a quarter. They all want to save the girl. And they'll go get money and Planned Parenthood it up. It's like Girl Scouts is slow grooming. That's my anti-feminist remark tonight since I came in hot with the Noah's Ark birth. Sorry to interrupt. I was catching up. It's weird because I do think it's crazy how all these streaming apps still don't have the timing right with how long it takes them to actually get the information back and forth. Like
the
30
time codes, the
seconds.
time syncing. Yeah, I was going to say earlier, when I was in junior high, went to a new building facility, and I had an hour where I was just left in the video production lab. They had basically set it up, but no one was using it yet. And they're like, well, we don't know what to do with it. We don't have any classes or we don't have any reason to use it. I was selected to be the kid to spend an hour just playing with all of the computers, defragging the old iMacs with the iMovie, the old hard drives. But they had a whole studio on that chroma key stuff, green screen, all of this stuff that wasn't being used yet. They didn't have any knowledge of a curriculum or anything, but I got to go in there and play around with it before anyone. It was all like, we just have to set it up and make sure it's all working and figure out what to do with it. So I got to go in there and play on Photoshop, Final Cut Pro, all the software. I don't know what any of this stuff does, and I just started playing with it. They had all the manuals in the boxes. That was fun.
Well, like what Abbie was saying earlier about thinking like cartoons were real. I remember the first time I saw a green screen actually in the works. It was like Disney World or Epcot or something. And I remember it like shattered my entire world because I was convinced that the Nick Arcade show, that people were actually somehow going inside of video games and like being able to control it. And then as soon as I saw, I was like, oh, it's just some idiot like jumping up and down on a green table. That's this thing. Right. And like that was probably the day my childhood ended.
That's how I felt because I literally watched something on TV where they were showing how animation was literally just drawings, essentially flip books, and I was like, no, this is not real. Like, you just killed Fred Flintstone.
Where you were like, what?
I was so upset. Like, I felt like I kind of like was mourning a little bit.
Fred Flintstone's the one that got me hooked on cigarettes. What do you mean he's not real?
This is such a weird. I remember this Nickelodeon show, and it was called Today Special. Like, I was really young, but it was all about a mannequin that turned into a real man and then hung out in a department store at night. I don't know if it became out before or after the movie Mannequin. I feel like this was really, they did this to us a lot as children when I was growing up, where they were like, here, and this thing comes to life. Like, but it was... a rat was one of the main characters in that show. So I was just thinking like hantavirus. Sorry. I don't know what the original point was, but there was another character of a rat. I don't know what made me think of it when you guys were just saying that.
Well, we're
At this
kinda
time,
like
at
Disney
11:54 a.m.
and
Eastern Standard Time, I slowly get more stoned.
Whoopee.
Here,
Page
wait, I'm
Master.
blowing it up. We're
Ooh.
gonna talk about it. Hold on.
Mm.
And boom.
Oh, hello.
Oh wait. Hi.
Hey.
Hi. And 3, 2. Everything's working really slow too inside
Testing
StreamYard
it.
tonight.
Yeah.
It's taking forever. There it is. Now it's you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, the idea of mixing realities. So the meta text of the idea that the kid goes into the library to read the books, and then it becomes a mixed media art project where he's the live action actor as a minority in an animated two-dimensional world. Have we thought about that? And then realizing that
Ooh.
it's Macaulay Culkin in front of like a blue screen or a green screen interacting with objects that don't exist. His ability at that point to act as if it were real was very convincing. And then how many young kids looked at Macaulay Culkin specifically because he was the big figure and think, oh, if they had the awareness to realize he's acting and he's getting paid to play pretend and he looks really cool doing it, how many kids then thought, you know, I would like to become an actor. I want to be in movies. That planted a seed in a lot of young people's minds.
I feel
Yeah,
like that's how he
that
got
must.
Eminem. Was he thought the same thing about Vanilla Ice in the Ninja Turtles movie?
And he was like, I can do that.
Ice Ice Baby, Corey Feldman, Corey and his Angels.
There was never really a white girl rapper that took off.
No.
Was there?
There was
Never?
a British one.
Lady Sovereign.
Yeah.
Of course. What's a
Dion Tord
song?
had one too.
What's a hot song from Lady Sovereign?
Oh, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know the song's name.
Love Me or Hate Me, something, something. It's been a while since I've listened to it.
Was she a Christian rapper or something? How do you know this?
Sovereignty.
Yeah,
Lady
sovereign. It's close. Protestant language. I don't know. It seems Catholic language. That's why the Protestants got so mad.
Is Britney Spears a Presbyterian? Have we proven this to be true?
Britney Spears is she in rehab? Because I think she got found guilty of her little DU izzle. Even though her blood alcohol level was something, but maybe she was on something else.
I'm not making a prediction. I'm just planting a seed that I hope comes to fruition. It is not a prediction, but a new trajectory for Britney Spears where she becomes like tradcath, I think would set the world on fire.
What does tradcath mean? I'm sorry, I have to ask.
Oh, traditional Catholic. So like
okay.
trad wife plus serious about being Catholic, because then we could get a Britney Spears, Candace Owens kind of interview thing going on.
Well, Madonna did initiate her into Kabbalah, so I don't know.
But you also know that Britney is huge on posting like pictures of the aerial shots of the Vatican or pictures of certain saints. Like,
And she did do the Madonna one the other day. The whatever in Wonderland.
And Madonna's a Catholic too. Even though she is
Madonna is a
Kabbalist,
Catholic. Yeah.
she's also a Catholic. So that's super curious.
Is there a reason why a Catholic could not be a Kabbalist?
I don't think so.
I think Catholics, in my opinion, outside of Mormons, which are like a weird offshoot, but like Catholics are the most occult. They're the most magical out of pretty much any other denomination you could pick from in Christianity.
This is, you know how I have had this whole thing that I felt like there's some part of TPUSA I just can't put my finger on yet, but I feel like it's this weird Catholic to Mormon bend on America. Like they are trying to recruit. And so there's something about Charlie Kirk and Utah and everything going on. And I was rewatching that speech again just because you know how people put a stupid circle on somebody itching their ear for fucking a minute and a half. You're like staring at this thing. What am I looking at? And it's just somebody itching their ear, sticking their hand in their pocket over and over again. But it's like whatever. But it was playing Charlie Kirk's words really slow at the time. And he said, I just really, sending all the love out there to our Mormon brothers and sisters. And he just said this like little part about like Mormon brothers and sisters that I'm not typically used to hearing Christians be like, and our Jehovah's Witness brothers and sisters and our Buddhist brothers and sisters.
There's a thing that they share. It's Catholics, Mormons, and Scientology. And the thing is that they all have a standardized practice where somebody confesses all their sins, which is essentially how most intelligence networks would start. They would get like, what are all the bad things you've done? Give me all the blackmail that I can get on you. So Mormons absolutely do that. They sit people down and they're like, tell me all the bad things that you've done in order to like stay pure. Catholics have the confession booth, and then Scientologists have the auditing scale. But this is the reason why I think all three are somewhat interchangeable, because they're all just intelligence agencies. So if the Mormons decide to team up with the Catholics, for example, there's a Mormon temple that was erected just outside the Vatican now. So there's like a direct connection with the Mormons and the Vatican directly on their own turf. It would be the same as like FBI deciding to share some of their files with the NSA or whatever, right? It's like, hey, we're both doing the same thing. Let's compare notes a little bit. It would be synergistic for the two of us.
Well, to add to it, in the Mormons, like we were looking up their baptism last week and how much it looks like all the baptism things around Solomon's temple. And we were doing that talking about the new ballroom. But it is curious how much Solomon had all the keys to control demons and angels, the seals of Solomon. And so you have Solomon's temple. He says he gets visited by all these things. And we relate it to the Mormon church that I'm like, here's the story we're being told from this side. And I think if the government, it almost behooves them, or it behooves the Vatican or the Mormon church, and especially the Mormon church, because they're all written in that if this whole thing goes down, where angels and aliens, they have it written into their whole shtick. It's like Scientologists in a way. So it behooves them, this whole thing, that it starts to get very spiritually crossed, and then this seals of Solomon thing with them, and then all the mix of the United States, used to be Israel, and all that stuff coming into the conspiracy. It is kind of crazy how all the rabbit holes do attach.
I feel like the seals of Solomon, it would almost be like he was opening up Photoshop to do Photoshop work, and then he would open up Premiere to do Premiere work. If someone were to find the records of, Marcus's like creations, whatever, in 2,000 years from now, they're like, oh, here's one of the magic sigils that he was summoning from. And it's just the Photoshop icon that you would click on and it opens the program. But people 2,000 years removed, they're like, there's something about this shape. If I trace it, or if I like say its name out loud, maybe I can invoke the spirits. That wouldn't work any more than if you just sat in an empty room and kept screaming Photoshop out loud over and over again. It doesn't just magically open.
My first Mormon love of my life.
What if you say, "Hey Siri" first?
And his
You still have
best
to have the
friend
phone.
were named on Candace Owens as involved on the Charlie Kirk shooting. I keep thinking her and her husband have the most to gain. And they've been screaming the loudest about setting up the other thing, which is just so in the conspiracy. Like if you had an easy playbook of how they do, it's like, and then the towers fell immediately into their own. They have all these news people like directed, and it just feels like a look over here and not over here type thing. Like the lady does protest too much. That's how I feel sometimes about Candy Hook Owens.
I think there's a built-in debt in her name. Owens. Owens. What does she owe? Who does she owe? What is the debt she has to pay? What do they have on her? Owens.
You're marrying a lord.
Owns.
or you're marrying a baron, like a farmer family, and they're like, you know what you should do? Keep your last name.
IOU.
I don't know. The whole thing's sus. I didn't mean to get off. I want to talk about Mormons more. I just feel like Candace Owens and that Charlie Kirk thing and the Catholic Church. I know people think like, oh, these religions are separate. But in my idea, when you look up into all the stuff of New Israel and the writings, the Catholic Church, they wanted it too. And the Vatican can't be it. But Utah can be. And all the names would say that is like, it is Utah. It just is crazy to me. I think there's a lot more relationship building going on between certain religious sects like mafia, that this family is working with this family, but people just think like, no, Baptists hate Protestants, and so it is. Like, I don't know about some of these like Scientology and shit. I don't know. Even the runs on the Scientology church right before all this alien lockdown shit seems a little too oddly timed. Alien lockdown. I just put it in. I just put it in the zeitgeist on accident. Alien lockdown shit. But it just feels like virus, aliens, and now the alien versus virus story feels like two competing news stories that aren't released by the same people. And like you're saying, like the Epstein thing, I still think that's there. Like everywhere I look, every day I open up my zeitgeist, it's there in like some kind of, even if it's like TMZ, one story a day, sometimes 4, where it's like some reference to, which I'm surprised TMZ does so much, because the guy who owns TMZ is in, but somebody called him out on live for it. They were like, why don't you bring up all these celebrities in the Epstein file, but you never talk about yourself? You guys can all find this. It was pretty like, this happened in the last 2 weeks. And he's like, nope, it's fine. It's fine. I'm going to answer it. Like, you know, everybody was like, burp. Everybody in the production room was like, oh shit.
Who was that to? I'm sorry, I missed that part.
TMZ.
Okay.
Harvey, what's his name?
Levine.
Harvey Levine.
Okay.
And I think one of those is like Alan Dershowitz. He's like a friend of Alan Dershowitz, as you would be, I assume.
Alan Dershowitz. But
No relation.
it's curious stuff. It's curious timing, and it's all coming at the same time. Like the bottleneck of information is getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and they're shoving everything into it. And right when I think, all right, the regular normal people have had enough. Like tomorrow they will put a story in about Mothman, Bigfoot, Chupacabra. Like they're going to start adding this shit. Like they're going to start filling it with the film. Because they started to put the 4-foot giants in. So then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to, or 4-foot aliens in. So I'm like, this whole story for these people, it's crazy for me. Every day I'm like, oh, new biblical relic found. They just proved Noah's Ark. Here it is. Here's the Spear of Destiny over here. I don't know. I'm like.
Thinking about Mormon relics, will we see Mormon relics revealed from history? The early Mormon prophets.
Yeah, it would have been the Seal of Jupiter, the Brigham Young's bloodstone. There's a cane that apparently has either the bones of Joseph Smith ground up and put into it, or like multiple ones given out. And then there's the magic hat and the seer stones. There's a lot of Mormon relics. And the coolest part about Mormon relics is that all of these relics are from the 1820s. You don't got to like go and dig up, 1,000-year-old sort of Dead Sea Scrolls and find things miraculously. Like this is in somebody's attic somewhere in the United States. Like almost all these old Mormon relics are.
Provenance is easily traced a little bit. Thinking of the Utah, the Mormons and their DNA, their ancestry records, and all of that stuff that they're holding on to. I think that's a very important thing in terms of a North American religion having our own Vatican City sort of in America, being around Mormon, Salt Lake City, Utah, the temples, the cathedrals, the college, Brigham Young. I think 1,000 years from now, like Mormonism could be a lot larger, more powerful, you think, than it is today? As one sort of group shrinks, another rises. I think they're ready to
Look
go.
at the amount of children that most other denominations are having versus how many children Mormons will have. Because pretty much this is part of the like world population. Let's eliminate like 1.5 billion people. That was something from a Bill Gates TED talk in the 90s. And he was talking about it's not like you have to kill people in order to lower the world population. What you do is you improve childcare so that most people that are having 8 to 10 kids, they don't have to have 8 to 10 because they know that, you know, like if they have 2 kids, both kids will survive. Because most of the time when you have 8 to 10, you're not expecting all 8 to 10 to necessarily survive. You're kind of like hedging your bets a little bit. So that's what happened in pretty much every other developed country is they're like, oh, well, I could just have 2 kids because my 2 kids will be fine. But Mormons never either didn't get that memo or they're like, that's not what we're doing this for. Like we're doing this for generational growth and to like build our numbers. And they've kept doing that. So I think that they're definitely on the trajectory. And another complaint too is when people were saying we never build, you know, nice buildings anymore. Like nothing has the nice little filigrees and all these extra little like the masonry added to it. Well, like Mormon temples do, a brand new Mormon temple that gets built, that's some impressive ass masonry. So there are some groups that are putting the effort and the time and the money into it, and they're having 8 to 10 kids per family.
Well, can't you argue though that Catholicism is the same because, you know, they're not allowed to use birth control technically and all of that. Like they traditionally would.
Yeah, but a lot of Catholics
country?
are sort of like have bought in. It's so weird. There's a lot of Catholics that are pro Planned Parenthood. They just wouldn't say that in church, but that's the vibe. Like if you
Can't you
if
see
you said you were
Mormonism going the
against it
same way
outside
though?
of
Because I
church.
feel like it's kind of dwindled down. But it used to be traditionally, if you had a lot of kids, you were Catholic, and then now it's more like I had 5 kids, so on the West Coast, everybody would be like, "Oh, are you Mormon?" I'd be like, "No." I
Well,
moved here, and the first question was, "Are you Catholic?" And I was like, "No."
usually
So
that's if you were a poor Catholic for the exact same
yeah.
reason that, you know, the Irish family, they've got 8 kids because they know that 3 of them are going to get lost when both of the parents are drunk all the time.
I definitely think there's something like the Catholics used to 60s, 70s, 80s. It starts to dwindle off the amount of kids they're having. And then the Mormons, in regular Mormon families, they're huge. And then they also have polygamy Mormon families. And the Mormon religion is like so much spread out. Like there might be more Mormons in Mexico than in Utah. Like when I started to research it, I was kind of like, oh. And then the one other smart thing that they're doing inside of spreading their cult, they hire their cult. Catholics aren't only hiring Catholics anymore. Jews hire Jews. Mormons hire Mormons. This is like a big thing that a lot of groups, even if you go to a BNI or people will say about Masons, like Masons hire Masons. BNI groups, if you go to them or if you go to certain fraternities or sororities, they hire those things. And so I think when you look at the other thing they have is child labor laws that they get to go around because they have so many kids. So they build these huge businesses for next to nothing because they just have all their sons show up to the job site and they can work them however long they want for no labor because they're mostly homeschooled. And so, yeah, they are building a new Israel.
And these are the Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, LDS is the same as Mormons essentially.
And the layout of the LDS church building is the same, I believe, in many different locations. So a Mormon missionary can travel around and go to another Mormon church and know exactly where the bathroom is, exactly where the kitchen is.
Yeah, they have the same backrooms layouts. They have the same little I forgot what they call like the baptismal font and the bottom with all the bowls and stuff.
It's all very interesting.
It would be like a Masonic temple essentially. Like there's always going to be a lodge room on this side of the building with no windows, like, you know, in these dimensions.
But the Mormons are the only things keeping up with the Muslims. Like really, and that's what I would say.
I really don't think that's it at all. I think the Muslims are winning. If we're talking about numbers, they are
I'm
winning.
like, if we're just talking about American religions that we have going for us right now, it's like you almost want to encourage the Catholics and Mormons to compete to start breeding, because even though Mormons
the
might be
young-
here, it's still but maybe that was part of the shtick. Like, oh, cool, because all these other religions and white people are going to be so scared. They're going to need a Handmaid's Tale that they'll totally all convert to Mormonism, especially if we introduce aliens onto them. I don't know. It seems wild. And their religious shit is crazy, and they do have buildings everywhere. Like, they are gathering real estate like Scientology. Texas,
Yeah.
they have huge Mormon compounds in Texas. Huge churches.
Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado.
What about Scientology being sort of the new alien religion? And you mentioned alien lockdown. Well, that is on the timeline because Scientology buildings are on lockdown because of the alien threat that has been invading them through these speedrunners who are, Zerg rushing the Scientology buildings with live stream video as they're running through up and down the stairs, trying to get in and trying to get out to infiltrate the building. Now Scientology buildings are apparently on lockdown, increasing security. A lot of what happens through this alien disclosure thing is tied to security, the industrial complex, the military industrial complex, security systems. How do we build better military security systems? And because there's an outside threat, now we have to lock our shit down. And that's the same thing with Canvas. All the students have their data stolen, so now there's the Shiny hacker group, ransomware, requesting, May 12th, pay up, or we're going to start leaking documents of students and this type of thing. All this does to serve the security complexes, the security experts. They're the ones getting paid. They're the ones going to work to lock everything down, to seal up all the gaps.
You know what a Dutch auction is? They should have a Dutch auction for the ransom fees. The way that a Dutch auction works is that if, let's say, you've got 1,000 things, the first person that bids only pays $1. The second person that bids pays $2. The third person that bids pays $4. So, like, there's an incentive to be one of the first ones that, pays off your ransom and not be one of the holdouts. Because if you're a holdout, by the time it gets to you and you make up your mind, now the ransom's going to be like, $400,000 or something insane.
Help me understand. Are you saying that a student or a teacher who was using the Canvas software should contact the Shiny Hunters and say, I'll pay you, delete all of my records from your leak?
I don't know if you could trust them to do it on an individual scale. I think they're negotiating with like the entire school's IT teams all at once. But I think that the way that the what is it, the shiny handlers, the
Shiny Hunters.
the shiny hunters.
Dude, I thought it was a Pokemon app. When I first saw it, because it's
like
like
a
show me
hacker
the
group.
chart, I'll show you the news. I was watching all these shiny handler coins run, and I really thought it was an app that was released that I
NFT
could
is
put it
this?
in and find Pokemon cards that were like shinies.
Well, shinies are aren't they the rare Pokemon in the Pokemon games where you have a rare variant and it sparkles and it shines?
Yeah, you can go like this with the card. It's
Probably a connection there. Yeah, I know that with the health records in the hospitals going back maybe 6 years, let's say 7 years, HIPAA laws and things, Bitcoin would lock down the systems, and well, it wasn't Bitcoin, but Bitcoin was the ransom. So you'd have to pay the Bitcoin ransom to unlock your encrypted files, and it could be a personal attack
That's
on
probably
your
where
own.
this is headed. Like if you were to contact these hackers, they're probably going to be like, send us some Monero or whatever.
Again, Monero, Bitcoin, whatever the privacy coin is, to unlock or de-encrypt or prevent the destruction of the records. Imagine, though, if they had gotten into the schools and could delete all of the verification that the students had certain degrees. If we would wipe out all of degrees, teaching licensing, that type of thing, how would that change the world? Is that the chaos that they would want to bring? You have a degree? Prove it. Well, I can't prove it. I got a piece of paper. Well, okay, but if we have to call the college and they have to verify their records, that kind of throws a monkey wrench in the situation, which then gets to move the chess piece to the next step, the totalitarian tiptoe, the increment of the overall theme in my mind, which I've sort of been thinking about, is the age verification thing, or the way to verify that I am who I am on the internet of things.
Yeah, the
World Wide Web.
KYC, the know your customer process.
Right. So I would have to have a token that would verify my encryption, my pretty good encryption, my PGP thing, so I could send an email. It's the cipher to unlock the message. That is where we're heading, whether we like it or not. It's the new tool to have a way to verify that I am who I say I am online.
You know, here's the rub that I think too, though, is that at this point, 10 years ago even, they don't need you to upload your ID. They don't need you to take a picture of your face. They don't need you to authorize your voice. They know exactly who you are. They've known who you are. The problem is that there's laws on the books that basically say they're not allowed to connect these two pieces together. Here's a profile on your behavior. So here's the things that you like and the decisions that you might make and the interest you have and the disinterest. Here's everything. And then in a separate database, here's your name and your address and your social security and all that stuff. And it's only because there's some laws on the books that tell these companies they're not allowed to connect data set A with data set B. So now with this like know your customer crap and upload your ID and like the verification stuff, all it's doing is it's being like, oh, now we're able to connect these two things because you gave us permission to. It's hiding the fact that they've been illegally connecting those dots behind the scenes for well over, I'm being generous when I say, or rather conservative when I say a decade. Like, I don't know if you have one of the earlier stories, I remember this is over 10 years ago, where a girl was shopping at Target and she happened to buy like more foods that had iron in them or something over the course of like 2 or 3 weeks. And they sent a letter to her house that was like, we hear you're expecting, here's some coupons off for baby formula and stuff. And her parents found it. And I guess like her dad like beat her or something because like, what do you mean you're pregnant? And she hadn't told anybody. And like through a lawsuit, they eventually find out that Target had some sort of AI system. Again, this is like 10 years ago or more, had some kind of AI system that was like, oh, she's adding these particular things to her diet. That means that she's pregnant without her having to tell anyone about it.
I blame Amazon and maybe Walmart ganging up to take Target out.
Well, no, they were even finding out in Google searches, like you would put like sore throat, sniffles, but then a couple people in your area would do it, and they were sending information that was being able to be by health systems because they were knowing where certain people were getting sick, like where it was happening beforehand by just what people's search criteria was.
Well, shout out to Donut and his Illuminati toilet presentation he's been pushing lately. But that's literally the next step, is that everyone has smart toilets, and the toilets determine exactly what you've been eating and where you got it from and what your diet is. And all that's going to be reported to the point where now if you live in a certain zip code, you might have different premiums than, you know, a few zip codes over based on the amount of microplastics and the amount of just like unhealthy food available in that area. Like that's going to be the next level of this, just another data point where, because right now people are you relying to self-report your diet when you go to your doctor or for like a blood test, and that's pretty much the only insight. But if you had a way to capture your data 2 to 3 times a day, your data logs, and then now all of a sudden all the guesswork's gone.
Walmart was doing this other thing because of Amazon. Or Amazon was doing this thing to Walmart where they were figuring out certain areas and what everyone's buying trends were. So then they were sending their customers out like 6 weeks before to go buy up all of the items. So then Amazon could resell them back for like 4 times the amount of money that they originally were, because they were sold out everywhere in certain areas that Walmart was sending all these people out. So where there was all these people that are like, I have a job and I'm Amazon shopping. They were just essentially buying up everything in an area. And if you actually looked at all the things, for me, just as a person who did like prepping at a time in my life, I felt like every single thing on the thing was something that could also be used to prep. Like it'd be steel wool one week, like all the steel wool, or it'd be pantyhose, all the pantyhose. And it's just like these are certain things that if you're, you can use them as other things if shit hits the fan. Like you can start fires with steel wool, you know? And so I was just like, maybe it's nothing. But I also think we're loading up shipping containers and sending all this shit to China. And so I think, like, speaking of shit that's been happening for at least 10 years, that is some of the real life stuff that they were like effing with the algorithms or whatnot. Like
It
knowing
is
ahead of time.
something. It's the pantyhose panic.
Pantyhose.
What are we going to
thing.
do without pantyhose? How are we going to walk into banking institutions and walk out with more than we went in with? It's like the pantyhose on the face, pull it up, distorts the face, gets you past cameras.
Yeah, can AI break pantyhose?
Break pantyhose. Ladies used to care about their pantyhose. And then
Hosiery.
Now it's just Hooters is the lone place that pantyhose matters. I'm bringing this up. Think.
Illuminati toilets.
I'm Pause Donuts video. You guys can go watch it. It's like 7-minute cut on X right now. And you should totally check it out because he has so much information and he kind of goes through all the pages and talks about it. And then you can go purchase that. So, The Real Donut. What up? Okay. Book.
I did a show with Donut earlier today with Miriam, the bee lady.
Yeah.
Oh, glad you brought Marion Heinem up. Just because it's just so random that I also have this. If you don't know who Miriam is, you guys should all follow her too, because the bees are big in topic now because of the White House and the Royals and blah, 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 blah. So they're on everybody's tip. They're looking up symbolism. Miriam's been doing this like 3 decades. Like she has a documentary that might be 15 years old now. Like when people are talking about like they're killing the bees and all this stuff, Miriam's the OG. So you can
narrated by Ellen Page.
Oh yeah, back when, and she doesn't even you just dead named. But also
that's a Page Master reference.
Or I should say Achilles, narrated by Achilles.
And speaking of Candace Owens and Bee Cult, this is the Utah flag, which I think is really interesting. And I had on my thing to ask you guys because I was like, you know what, they just might know, and I haven't really done any research on it. Is there any like references to bees and UFOs? Is this
Oh yes, yeah. The 5-pointed star, the 5 levels of the nest on the beehive flag. That's interesting. I'd go back to the X-Files movie. There was sound of buzzing heard. Bzzz, is that sound the data center makes? All the spinning hard drives and the coolant fans, the bzzz, the buzzing sound of a facility that they walk into in the Fight the Future movie.
Also, one of the links here that I've heard that it was really interesting is that you know when you see the little balls of light orb, the thing that denotes them as being these UAPs or UFOs is they kind of like dance in the sky. They wiggle in ways that normal aircraft that we're aware of can't wiggle, and that's sort of analogous to like the little dance that bees do. It's called the waggle dance. So like the way that a bee will sit there and spin around and like move, to the left and move to the right a little bit, it looks chaotic, but there's some sort of a formula behind it. You match that up with some of these UFO, UAP movements, like that might be just a higher level of Morse code where visually the way that they're moving around, like that might be the message itself that they're trying to send.
Like they could be doing different sigils in the sky. Real quick, shout out to Sarah the Raging Tomato. If you don't know, if you like panel shows and if you know who Ben Balderson is, he hangs out there too. They also debate a few times a week. You can find all different topics. And Thomas was on there with a great eugenics presentation, and then they had a discussion about that, and he's going to be on 510 on Sarah Tomato's show
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh,
tomorrow
yeah.
night.
Is that tomorrow already? Yeah, 510. So tomorrow night. And you guys know we adrenochrome drop all the time to the point we've gotten in trouble, but we've done it so much now you can just say that word online and it doesn't get you in trouble. And they're going to debate that, and nobody has more information on the subject with Thomas. And it's going to be kind of interesting because there's going to be a whole bunch of people that they think this is not even real. And like, this is the craziest conspiracy. And that's the best part about always Thomas's information to me, is it's always information you can bring your 3D friend. It's always your friend that thinks like, whatever, with your crazy mind control. And it's like Thomas's information that you're like, no, there was actually hearings on MK Ultra, and here was the people involved, and here's the dates that it happened. So adrenochrome, the same thing. If you're somebody out there and you think it's such an outlandish topic, you can check it out tomorrow night, and you can find it on Sarah's channel. And then when Ben goes on stream, he will have it on his channel too. So yeah,
I want to say
guys.
5 Eastern, I believe.
And it's usually long shows. So if you guys are into like long format shows, you want to clean your house, work on your car, sit at your office all day and try to get paid for listening to information about adrenochrome, it'll be a good show. So shout out to the Raging Tomato panel. And Alan Marcus was on the Eugenic show as well. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, it's hella interesting. And it was super crazy. I loved anything with the Kellogg's family. I like old Americana shit, and that was really good part as well. So, and out. Hail Ben, shout out Balderson and Christy. And I saw all the tomatoes. Now I just saw the 2 above it. Anyway, okay.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah. I need to turn on raid abilities. There's so much I don't with YouTube, because we used to get in so much trouble. Even when it offered, like, do you want me to translate? You want to do closed caption? I was like,
I don't want you to read what I'm saying. Yeah, no more
Don't pay
extra eyes or
extra
scrutiny, please.
yeah, we get in trouble for saying Fauci with vaccine every day. So please don't do it.
It
We're
might be a
trying to get them not
felony
to look.
once it gets translated into Canadian, it becomes a felony.
Yeah. Or in Europe, some of the stuff that we say on here, I'm like, oh, if putting a mustache on your dog and calling him Hitler will get you arrested, you don't want to watch Secret Society of Good Guys too long. Abbie, welcome back. Everybody's liking Abbie's 5-star like bartender tonight. Like, she looks like she should like shake you a cocktail and like crack it in front of you in a martini glass and not really say too much, but have that one sentence that you like need to change your life.
That's my vibe.
Red pill, blue pill.
Cheers. Thinking of bees making honey, honey being a sweet thing. Honey pots. We could talk about honey pots.
Yeah, it is interesting that they're even called that.
I've got a little bit of a tangent that I think's worth talking about really quick. You said honey pot, and just because I had a discussion with Austin Picard recently, and we were talking about the origins of MK Ultra, and then Project Monarch, and then Project Montauk, and he was actually giving me all kinds of new information that I hadn't found yet, but that there are some legitimate origins of Project Monarch where there was something called the Sinister Sub-Projects, and this is where they were training kids to go out and basically be honeypots for politicians to get blackmail on them, and that this is basically the origins of Stranger Things, which is Project Montauk, which is where they would take those kids from Monarch and then put them in the chair and teach them how to astrally project. So what we have now are McDonald's Happy Meal toys that are based on child abuse and MK Ultra programs, which is as mainstream as you can get. Lego sets, Happy Meal toys, video games, Funko Pops, just everything you can imagine. But if you look into, okay, where's the origin of this story? It goes down the absolute deepest rat. Like within like 2 or 3 connections, you're looking at Franklin's scandal, essentially. Like you skip over Epstein and go directly to Franklin's scandal.
That's
and
the turtle?
It blows my mind that's Happy Meal toys right now. You can go and buy one of those Happy Meal toys.
The Franklin scandal is people using artificial intelligence to make the Franklin turtle do things he wouldn't have done.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I'm glad we figured that out. Scandalous. And Abbie was showing, it's that one guy who lost his teeth in Stranger Things and he grew his adult teeth.
Dustin. He's my favorite.
Dustin. Okay, yeah. So Dustin, I just saw him in a new movie called Pizza Movie. Kind of a weird drug trip thing. Yeah, it's a college movie. He's grown up. He's gone to college. He's still playing his Dustin character a little bit. The premise of the movie is that some research chemist stayed in the dorm room and put the research chemical. She designed a research chemical that looked like little mints, little tabs, little tablet things. Put them in like a mint tin, MINTS, and then was going to get raided. So she takes them and then puts them up in the rafters, like pushes a ceiling tile up and hides it up there. And then, some years pass. Now Dustin and his roommate are in the room. The room shakes. The ceiling tile causes the mints to fall down on their desk, and then they take them and they go on a trip under the substance during the Pizza Movie. And without spoiling it, I will say that there's a butterfly reference, like butterfly wings flapping, and there also is a butterfly effect metaphor going on in the movie. Very interesting if you guys like movies and decoding them.
It's weird because you can't make a stoner movie anymore since it's not really counterculture. Like, it's kind of mainstream now to be a stoner. So
right.
In order to make a stoner movie, they have to make up fictional drugs now and then try and play out the exact same premise, but it doesn't hit the same because it doesn't feel like there's an inside joke anymore.
I just watched a movie Synchronic, and it was like it's not a comedy, but it's good. It's like a fictional drug too, and I liked it.
Chronic
time travel.
The bee stings is so interesting with the Lyme disease. And don't bees hover? Like, don't they not fly, but they levitate? Isn't that their like whole trope?
More like a hummingbird.
And they have like some ability that if a whole bunch of bees get around something, they can like flap their wings so quick and hard that they heat up the body temperature of like a wasp to a higher temperature. So it actually fries from the inside out.
Yeah, I think I watched a video of that. It was interesting.
And there's also that building that they just like built in New York in the past. Let me see. I feel like something weird happened to it during lockdowns, or maybe they just locked it down. But the Vessel, do you guys know this building in New York City? I'm going to show you it real quick.
It's called the Vessel.
Yeah. It's the Vessel in New York. And it is
Yep.
wild looking. Yeah, it's hive as shit. Like, look at this thing. Look at that lady. I'm such a dick, dude. Like, just mogging at the hive. And she's like, don't get my whole body. Do I look skinny like this? She's like, with my leg bent like this. She's like, and her girl's like, you look great. Like, that color is perfect.
I'd totally be posing too.
Like, there's summoning the Antichrist inside this building. Quick, take a hot girl photo.
Hot girl summer in front of the hive. The inside of the building too. Let me just show you that just for nerdy architecture people. It's pretty spectacular. And the whole entire thing is like a rounded staircase that walks all the way down. So even though it's like hive like this, on the inside it does spiral. And to just add to it, and here's how the windows look. It's pretty crazy. See how all the stairs are inside to make like the honeycombs?
Damn, wearing sunglasses at night. Indoors.
Now you're going to have to sing it.
I
can't just
wear
say
my
that.
sunglasses at night so I can.
What is the next lyric?
So I can watch you weave and Breathe your storylines.
That was good. I wouldn't know. I would just be like, is that the right answer, Judge? I have no.
Weaving spiders.
That's why I liked it. I thought it was
Yeah.
kind of like interesting. Weave and breathe your storylines.
Mm-hmm.
And honey, antimicrobial, antibacterial, like all these things, like in
And it
the
doesn't go
same way
bad.
where people talk about Hanta or people talk about Noro. And then you look at even old school when you used to be able to look at the Lysol bottle and COVID was on the side, coronavirus. Taking hydroxychloroquine or taking an ivermectin, something that would be the number one thing too, anti-parasitic. So parasite, this is one eye symbolism. And so I'm like, Vril, I'm always going to bring it back to Vril, that I feel like somewhere with honey, even on trees, not just for us, like if you cut a tree, if you put honey on it, it'll heal so much nicer. So you don't have to worry about anything getting inside the wound. And look at all the ways that people use honey mixed with cinnamon, and it'll just clear up anything on somebody's face, or they'll just put honey, mixed with other things. Don't heat up honey. Weird thing. Everybody puts it in their hot tea. Honey's not supposed, it becomes, I don't remember. It becomes harmful to you somehow once it's heated past a certain temperature. It's supposed to be cold, like, anyways, blah, blah, blah. Honeys and bees. I feel like it's a bigger deal. And I feel like the symbology somewhere, Candace said the bee cult. And I'm like, I need to look more into that shit.
Me too. I'm going to write it down right now.
Writing it on your little tablet.
Yup.
Writing on your little tabby.
Keep our lists of movies to see. You said Sync Chronic.
Yep.
I said Pizza Movie with the Dustin guy from Stranger Things. The other name of the movie with the comedian Dan Folger called Don Peyote. Jay Baruchel, Josh Duhamel, and Wallace Shawn in a movie called Don Peyote with Freeman Fly making an appearance in that movie.
Milk and honey. The land of milk and honey. It's curious stuff. It's very biblical. Is that a new Israel thing? The land of milk and honey.
Mm-hmm. That was the promised land.
Curious. To put a beehive on your flag. Oh, Utah. And then if you look at all the monuments and national parks and all the city names, and I don't know. Curious new Israel over there they got going on over in Utah.
And Mormons, they don't like those hot adult beverages, so they don't do a whole lot of drugs. They wouldn't do peyote or lick toads or research pharmaceuticals, MDMA, ecstasy,
Thomas,
PCP,
what is the psychedelic?
angel dust.
I think not until you get to the higher levels.
Are they pro it though? Pro psychedelics?
No.
If you're like in the priesthood?
No, they're not pro it, but they do have a level called, I believe, the second anointing, in which you can no longer be guilty of Mormon sin. I don't know the right term for that, but if you get to that level, you can do it. And then there's also Jack Mormons, and Jack Mormons can kind of do whatever the hell they want.
And they walked us in this whole thing with Nicki Minaj before Nicki was with Erica Kirk, which would add to it because she was on stage with Charlie Kirk's wife. Before that, Linda Perry and her had this mix that was so viral on TikTok where Bees in the Trap was popular again. And it was just like bees in the trap, bees in the trap, bees in the trap. I'm telling you guys, there's something to it. Beyonce, Queen Bey.
It's a hive mind. They live in a hive, the data center, building the Borg, assimilation. What's the Borg quote? You will be assimilated, or assimilation is futile.
Well, isn't that the whole idea behind the like I can't even say it. Pythagorean
Snake guy.
The Pythagorean Illuminati.
Like, if you say Pythagoras, and then it'll help you with Pythagoras.
Pythagoras.
I'm just kidding.
Pythagorean Illuminati, right? Isn't that what they are? And they kind of like are obsessed with bees too. I think, in the hive mind of it all.
Well, and because of like the industrious nature of them, where everyone fills a very specific role that was like pre-assigned to them.
And wasn't there a thing that the fleur-de-lis was a bee? Like the symbol, where some people would say it's like a flower, but other people say like, here, I'll pull it up so you guys can see it. Like the way the
I just always think of the New
symbology.
Orleans Saints.
Louisiana.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You made all of a sudden I'm Cajun. Mm-hmm. That yeah, like the symbol just kind of changed like into, but maybe not, because fleur-de-lis doesn't necessarily mean bee.
It's pattern recognition. What do you see? What does it sort of
Pareidolia.
vibrate? Yeah, seeing faces, seeing patterns.
HIV hive
Ooh.
mind. I know it is crazy because even all the if Hanta is a side effect of the wacky vac, other things that are a side effect that people have been talking about since 2022 has been VAIDS, like having the HIV inside of like all of the autoimmune depression or disorders that everybody's having since this shot. It is kind of curious because they also seem very angry and they don't like people very much.
Hokey pokey needlecraft side effects manifesting.
Yeah, sweet Melissa. So Melissa is another name for bee, or like Mel maybe is bee. So even the song Sweet Melissa is kind of in that way, saying the same thing. I don't know. Everything's signs and symbols to me, but I'm mildly schizo. I have a higher level of adrenochrome in my body.
Yeah, we could
You hear
return
that,
to
Hillary?
Chrome, the Chrome
It was supposed
browser
to be
having
me.
the 666, the aperture in it. Concern about Chrome browser lately is anyone who's using Google Chrome. Many sources recommend using Google Chrome. Google Chrome users are discovering that Google, the not evil company, has downloaded 4 gigabyte data sets locally to people's hard drives using Data Chrome for offline LLM AI stuff. So in Google Chrome, when you ask Google to translate this text from a different language, it can do a lot of that locally on your own computer now. And that's going to be a 4 gigabyte data set. So if you're wondering why you're running Chrome and it seems to be slow and bugging out, could be because you're getting a 4 gig download.
And if you're worried that AI summons demons, now you're summoning demons on your mom's computer.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, don't play with that Ouija board. Here's an iPad.
Just use Safari. You'll be fine.
Safari. Dude, I feel like I was like this year old when I realized that safaris are just zoos. Like they're just in a car driving through a closed-in area that they have fat animals all separated. Like they're not driving through the wilderness of Africa and then coming across a giraffe. Like I was this year old
It's like
when
the
I
wild
realized
animal
it.
park, really?
The
Wow.
entirely.
You can shoot.
Entirely, you can even go in them and shoot them sometimes. They get, like Thomas is saying, like, oh, we got one too many lions in the thing. We can't have them taking out the zebra herd because then the safari group won't have hats to buy at the end. I didn't realize. I thought it was just, like, everything's Westworld. The more I learn about the world, the more I realize everything is Westworld. It isn't, people don't get off the beaten path, and then I'm like, the simulation doesn't even have to work over there. They're just like, stay in the park.
The San Diego Wild Animal Park is
Jurassic
literally just
Park.
like being on safari.
Exactly. Like if you
Wow.
go to Lion Country Safari in
I've been on
Florida,
safari.
that's the same as Africa's up to.
Wow.
It's crazy. Like people are just inside the park taking care of the zoo animals. You don't even know if they're from there. We just take enough pictures of them there when really there's more tigers in Texas. But somewhere in the whole in the Council of Nicaea, they could have been like, we're going to say in Africa, we want the Great Pyramids to be the oldest, and we want tigers to be from here. And India's like, I don't know. We're going to have to make 2 different tigers.
Yeah, Indians getting a pretty bad rap lately, and a lot of the outsourcing from American companies has been going to the Philippines. So people are more friendly towards Philippines lately. Not liking the Indians, liking the Philippines though. And it's the mechanical Turk idea where a lot of this stuff is remote controlled by someone at a computer terminal. Used to be maybe India, but they don't like India so much. So these companies are going to the Philippines. So members of the cyber cafe in the Philippines are sitting at a computer terminal, maybe 12 hours a day, ready for some remote support if they need to drive the car, the self-driving car, or the delivery bot, or whatever it is. There's a human there that connects to it remotely and is able to drive it around obstacles. It's a mechanical Turk thing. You have a little man, little green man, little gray man, and a little thing running the suit of armor, playing the game of chess for you. So the artificial intelligence thing is still being confused as it has an intelligence that acts on its own. It's making decisions, but the hardest processes are being decided by humans in other countries who are getting paid the minimum to do the thing.
Wow.
That's what I think so many things are. That's what I think so many people's follower shit is bots. Like so much stuff that pushes the zeitgeist of this is the new famous person is bots. And then so much stuff that we think is AI is just an Indian person behind a computer. We're like, oh my gosh, my ChatGPT is so smart.
Well, there was a service that Amazon used to have called Mechanical Turk, which was exactly that. You would pay micro transactions for micro tasks. So, for example, you could hire some Indian dude to like look up the coordinates of a city, and they would get paid like 0.02 pennies or something, like not even a full penny. But if they did like 1,000 of these, then they would make enough to maybe feed their family for 4 or 5 days. So that's kind of the origin of like where AI and even the data set training came from. It came from, and then the name Mechanical Turk was based on an invention that was supposed to play chess. It was supposed to be an AI from, I think, the 1800s that you could sit down and play chess against it, and a robot was supposed to beat you at chess. But really, it was a dude inside a shell controlling the robot, tricking you to think that it was AI, but it was really a person. So it was kind of appropriate that Amazon called their first service Mechanical Turk, and then they took over Whole Foods and they said, you can go into a Whole Foods and take something off the shelf and just walk out with it, and this is our new AI system. And it turns out that they were just hiring Indians for like 0.002 cents for when you pick something up. They would write a little thing down, lady in red hair picked up, the bagels or whatever. And then they were saying like, this is our AI system, but it was just... what AI stands for always Indian.
Always Indian, I've heard. Yep.
You guys, we are gonna fly out of here soon, unless you have anything to plug before this week. Where can people find you, and what are you up to?
I'll go first. I'm offering a brand new flavor of galaxy gas. It's called rat urine galaxy gas, and you're supposed to microdose it to prep yourself for the hantavirus.
That's a great idea. You
can get that at paranoidamerican.com. You can also go and search for my latest episode with Sam Tripoli, the interview that I just did with Tanya Yaki, and then on Monday, I've got another really fun interview with another 32nd degree Mason, and we go over, I swear to you, every crazy, bad, disgusting rumor about Freemasons you've ever heard online. We go over every single one of them. from
that's
like
awesome.
Propaganda Do and the original Morgan affair, all the way to the child bride stuff and the latest things in France where like the 22 people are indicted for all sorts of like assassination plots, to the jesters that were sex trafficking across state lines like maybe 10 years ago. Every single one of those and so many more. And we like go into detail. Like, is it real? Are we for it? Are we against it? All of that. So I think it'll be a good one. It's called Bad Masons.
Awesome.
it.
Yeah, I'm super interested in it. And everybody talks about Masons all the time with a couple of pictures. And some of
They're usually like, how come Masons never talk about this? Well, we did it. We talked about that for a good 20 or 30 minutes, and we pulled up all the records and we went into the details.
I love it. I love it. I love how much
Yeah.
you bring so much information from like weird occult shit, but also like weird political shit, and usually have all the receipts. It's I feel
know.
like only when you play on Secret Society of Good Guys occasionally will you play without receipts. And that's
need 'em
we
here.
have to twist your arm. Yeah, you don't need them here. We like when you make the AI censor say you're 90% untrue.
This is like Walmart. we don't require receipts.
No, we'll take back anything. You don't even have to buy it here. Abbie, what do you have going on this week?
This week I have high school graduation, and yeah, that's about it. So, end of my school year.
Any of your personal children out of your womb graduating?
My fourth child is graduating, yes. So, 4 down, 1 to go, baby.
Pretty awesome. Pretty
Yeah.
big accomplishment. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Big deal. Will you touch the tassel last?
I've never touched anyone's tassel except my own.
Well, tomorrow's the day.
Yeah, I'm guess. Well, yeah. I guess I'm
Alan
gonna
Don't get
Marcus, what do
yourself
you
in the
have going
news.
on? What do you have going on?
Oh, Tuesday nights are for Uncle Ted Talks, starting that at 8 p.m. Central. Goes for a little while, and then when that wraps up, we jump over to a members only stream with some other familiar faces that kind of jump in. It's more of a cozier, private sort of thing where knowing that when raiding parties come and join the chat, the tourists who flick their thumb on the YouTube vertical feed and they might see what we're talking about, that's it's a bit of a different experience when you're talking in front of a more public audience. So then we have the more intimate members only experience where we can go a little bit deeper, say exactly what we mean. That stuff is in the process of getting archived, the audio, and having to go through with the transcripts and then the chapters and all of that takes a lot more work. And AI can do some of it, but a lot of times AI doesn't know what we're talking about, so I have to manually go back and sort of correct that. So a lot of the archival work is manually done, and I've been working on that slowly over time. So to introduce the Uncle Ted Talks with additional stream material to an audio podcast RSS feed is kind of where I'm at now. Don't know when I'm going to launch that publicly, but look for that at alanmarcus.com. And all of us have been on Weaving Spiders streams in the past. So there is a audio archive of Weaving Spiders Welcome, Weaving Spiders Webs streams. So for people going on long trips or just looking for a 3, 4, 5 hour audio thing to hit play on, set it, forget it without interruptions from commercials or advertisers or loud voices. You'll hear Abbie, you'll hear Chaney, you'll hear Thomas, you'll hear me, you'll hear other people that you're familiar with. A lot of those are still really interesting and worth listening to. So the value there is at alanmarcus.com. All the work we've done trying to preserve it and then make it more easy to search and find.
I love it.
Awesome.
I love it. I am hanging out with Weaponized News Monday and maybe Union of the Unwanted Monday night. I have to see how much space I have left and how many words I have left after hanging out with Weaponized News. And tomorrow we'll be watching, hopefully, Sean Strickland beat Khamzat Chimaev. And I will be geeking out on UFC. So if you guys are also, any of you podcasting, don't be surprised if you don't see me in the chat room of your podcast, because I like to have more than one thing going at a time. So anyways, we love you guys so, so much. We appreciate you as always. And we will see you with Layla. So do make sure you go and, put a little bit of wet peach all over Layla's pages and tell her how much you miss her and wish her a happy birthday. All right. I love you guys. Talk soon. XOXO Gossip Girl. Bye-bye.
Can you save us, Britney Spears? Can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
Here comes Santa. Here comes the world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunnilinguist good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically good guys. Conspiracy, sex, clones, Jamaicans, it's okay to change your thinking. Good guys, good guys, good guys, good guys. The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunnilinguist good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically good guys. Conspiracy, sex, clones, Jamaicans, it's okay to change your thinking. Good guys.